Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. It's Happer and
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Monday. It is Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and of course, The Zone Radio Network. I'm Connor Happer alongside Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. I didn't know normally it's Joey that goes first there.
Good morning, Connor, and good morning,
You guys got to
Welcome back,
figure
Mike.
it out. I want to hear an answer right after I get to talking.
I want it right now.
I want unbridled enthusiasm at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I was leaving space for Joey to jump in as he normally does.
Assertiveness.
I'm still gathering
I
my
apologize.
bearings.
You're still gathering yourself. We're on what, day 4 of the new studio?
Day 2 for Schaefer.
Yeah, this is.
Day two
I
for
walked in the
Schaefer.
door and I was like, oh yeah, I'd go to a different place.
That's right.
I have slightly different responsibilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What changed?
Well, I need to make sure I get the cord out so I can hardwire in. I don't know. My internet's doing the struggle bus here. So,
I thought you had that.
well, I had one when I was here on Wednesday, and then whichever one was left for people to use got taken by somebody, as invariably happens. But because I figured that would happen, I came prepared with one packed. I just didn't get it out because I was trying to get some other stuff done, and I didn't assume that it would happen already by the 4th show. So here we
Dang.
are.
All right. Well, we'll get there by show number
It
5.
sounds so different. When I was listening, I listened to you and Severe a little bit, and my wife had mentioned this from the Wednesday show. Like it does sound different. It sounds different in my ears.
It definitely sounds.
It sounds different on the radio. It sounds different on the stream. I like it. How do you feel 4 days in?
I feel amazing. I feel
Good.
just as good as I did day 1.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe even better. Possibly.
Maybe
I'm feeling
even
great.
better.
Joey's starting to. We're
Do
starting
you
to get
have,
things figured
you
out.
have your bearings? I mean, you
Yes,
mentioned
yes.
right at the beginning.
I
were
think we
trying
have
to find
full
them.
capability now, right?
Yeah,
You
we
were
got full
teaching other
capability.
people before the show started.
Oh,
so
yeah, because there's potential that I might be gone later in the week.
Or at any point in your life, yes.
Yeah.
You know, we need to have
we
somebody.
just got to get Joey past whatever this
I know.
magical day is.
I
I
know.
think it's weighing so heavily on him.
I
I feel
know.
I
bad.
won't find out until
I want
the
to
end
just
of
take
tomorrow.
that stress off of his shoulders.
I know, I do too.
Every time I hear him say it, I could just hear it in his
But
voice.
luckily, he can count down the hours with his big clock, which is sitting
I
right
love that.
behind him. Unfortunately, the producers do not get real access to the big clock because
There we go.
Do we need to
They're
give him a
not-
mirror?
they're
I
not
just
looking
need
at
to
it.
lift this up.
Yeah, they need a mirror.
Well, I got the window right here. I could kind of see it. It's
that
just
will only work
backwards.
for so long, I think.
I think he
reflection.
needs the mirror. So I have it set up in my vehicle. My son is still rear facing or whatever with the car seat. And so I have to use my mirror to look at a mirror to then be able to look at my kid because he's turned away. We could get one of those for Joey just angled
That's a good
so
idea.
you can see the clock at all times. Honestly, you could just put it on the Coke machine, tilt it up. You could look,
That's-
you could look
There-
directly
there-
into
there is that little space to the right corner of that TV that's in front of me.
But then it would be a backwards clock.
That's true.
You'd have to adjust.
Yeah, you'd have to start reading clocks backwards.
I got a clock down here on a tiny baby little clock
Yeah,
on the
it's a
computer.
tiny
Unless we
baby
use that
clock.
mirror to bounce off of another mirror that gives him a forward facing one.
That's an interesting idea. I'd say
A house of mirrors.
We institute 3 mirrors
Yeah.
starting tomorrow, just so Joey can read big
All
clock
right, well-
facing forward.
well,
Honestly, what
we'll
we
ask
should
for that.
do is keep one in a normal spot all the time, but then move the other 2 around. So that way, every day he gets to try to find where the clock is.
Nobody knows where big clock is ever.
Hide and go clock.
I like it. It's big, and
Hide
it
and go
says
tick.
Matt's big clock on it, which is absolutely fantastic.
One letter away from disaster.
It's true. That is true. One letter, you delete that, then you got a problem. But we did not, and here we are in our brand new studio. I'm starting to get I said this to somebody over the weekend, starting to get a little bit of a football itch here. It's happening. We have the college football preview segment, which we're going to do a little bit later on in the show today. Also, I was tracking this.
Did Michigan's latest scandal get you fired up?
Michigan has another scandal for the first time in a couple months, and so that's always good. Today is the first weekday that the sun rises after 6 o'clock since the middle / end of May. And we will not see that again until the middle / end of May next year.
Wow.
And so
That's already over. Do we have to get rid of our open now?
Now it will still be sort of light outside when you come in. That was what the song says.
Yeah.
The sun is not the sun technically rose like 4 minutes ago at 6:02. So it's 6:06 now. The sun is up, but it's 6 o'clock when the show started. The sun was technically not up.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out when we have to switch back to the original open.
Oh, we'll know.
So are you saying that
tell us.
some of your football interest is dictated on when the sun rises in the morning?
Yeah, it's sort of like a feel and a.
But prior to, I would say, what, January, when did we start this thing? 6th? January 5th? I always want to say January 6th.
I think it was in the teens.
It was the 12th, I think.
12?
Yeah.
I don't know. Prior to that, it's not like you were waking up to see the sunrise to determine your football mood.
No, but it just adds
But now
to it.
it's a piece of this whole
It just
thing.
adds to
Wow.
it. It just adds to it a little bit. The feeling in the air. It's going to be 150 degrees this week.
no, man.
All week long. So that's nice.
I was miserable outside on Friday and Saturday. This is going to be even worse.
Also, this is the traditional worst sports week of the year. It's MLB All-Star Week, so baseball is off with the exception of the
Hooray!
Derby tonight and the All-Star game tomorrow. But that is not even true this year because we have the World Cup stuff this week to finish
Yeah, but it's
up.
not in prime time.
Yeah, it's still on though.
Right. No, I'm not saying that it isn't happening. I'm just saying like it doesn't really take the place of anything happening in the evening because they're playing at a time where a lot of people won't be able to watch.
Well, there was nothing happening ever at any points of
Fair.
the week except for tonight and Tuesday anyway. So you add those two games this week in there on what, Wednesday and Thursday, Joey? Is that right?
Yeah, there's a game on Tuesday and
Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday,
So
Wednesday.
Tuesday lead into the All-Star game, and then maybe the All-Star game will be the most watched All-Star game in a while because it gets the World Cup lead.
Oh wow. Yeah. So who's the Tuesday game? Are we getting England, Argentina first,
No,
or are we
it's
getting
France, Spain,
Okay.
and then England, Argentina the next day.
I mean, two terrific games. I wouldn't have wanted to see some of these teams that have made it. They overcame deficits at certain times that would have eliminated them. I would have been happier with that. But from the World Cup perspective, it's what, the top 4 seeds or top four teams.
Pretty much the top 4 teams remaining.
And then no shortage of star power in that group either. So
I watched the World Cup this weekend.
Whoa.
I saw that on the rundown and I was floored.
I watched parts, at least like 15 minutes of both games.
Were you somewhere else where someone was in charge of the television?
I was
or-
at my home and I was
You
doing nothing.
chose the World Cup.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was doing not much at all.
Did you choose Telemundo?
No,
Sad.
I did not.
Sad.
I could have because I wasn't really
You can only
listening
ask
to it.
for so much.
You got 4 more opportunities left. To
I wasn't listening to
turn
it
to-
either way. I chose silence. Really, it was.
Yeah, I mean that's
silence
normal.
over the excitement of goal.
I mean,
It was going to be silence either way. It was background. It was.
Joey mentions a Fox broadcast, and it doesn't matter to me because I don't normally have the sound on
Yeah.
for it as it is anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't like strapped
Or
in.
if it is, I'm certainly not locked into the
It's
commentary.
just
Exactly.
the nostalgic sound of soccer.
There's nothing
There's no
nostalgic about
nostalgia.
soccer
None.
for me.
Nostalgia for soccer for me would be like I
The
don't know.
red team in 4th grade.
Yeah, basically being about in 4th or 5th grade and being at the peak of how much soccer I wanted to play and pretty much being one of the worst players out there.
I was pretty fired up when I was on the red team, and at the end of the season, we got a participation trophy. It was a little tiny soccer ball. It's the first trophy I ever got. It was on a white, stand or whatever. It was shorter than this coffee mug, and
About the size of your little thing for the college football preview. That little lottery.
yes, size of my tiny little balls. Yes, of course.
Wow.
This. And I was really, really happy about it. I was happy to get it at the end of the season. It was my one season of soccer that I ever played. I was on the red team,
Whoa.
and I never went back.
You only played 1 year of soccer?
1 year.
I think I played at least into middle school, and I did not love it. And I don't think I was particularly good at it, though. We did get second one time, so I do have a trophy in soccer.
I
I
discovered
have a
that
trophy in like every sport except football. That's the only thing I never came away, and there was really no opportunities to win a trophy.
Why didn't you get a trophy in football?
Well, I don't think there was any opportunities to. I don't
was
think
no
I ever played
participation
for
trophy?
anything. No,
Oh, you
there's
never played football?
no. I played football,
Oh.
but there was never like other than I guess maybe midget football, and I'm guessing that was medals. My teams were never good,
Oh,
so start there.
but you didn't get any
and
participation
then
trophies.
no, not that I can remember.
Wow. I feel like I got a
don't-
participation something for football, but maybe I didn't.
No, I have no memory of any participation, anything for football. I mean, there was an end of the year pizza party. You got to participate in that.
Yes.
My middle school team wasn't good. I played through sophomore year. Columbus High certainly wasn't great. They made the playoffs one of the 4 years that I was in high school. They had a non-losing season one of the 4 years I was in high school. My name was on a shirt of a team that went to the state playoffs.
Whoa.
So maybe that's the participation trophy.
that counts.
Yeah. No, I think that's like the only sport that I played
What's
somewhat
up with football?
competitively.
Football, step it up on your commemorative
Yeah.
things.
Hand out more participation trophies.
Either ribbons or even shirts or trophies or something like that. You gotta honor your guys.
This goes completely against a Matt McMaster promo that was airing a
That's
lot
right.
during January and February.
This is
and
the
March.
anti-Matt McMaster promo. More participation
Yeah,
trophies. I
clearly.
think that's what society needs. It was certainly better when we were doing more participation
I
trophies.
can't imagine
When I was
anything
getting
I
a
would have
ribbon.
done in football that would have earned a participation trophy.
Well, I mean, what you do to earn a
I
participation trophy
participated,
is participate.
Yeah, I mean, I did participate. I did play, but nothing accomplished on the field outside of one time not being able to get a fumble. So I kicked it. So the offense had to start further back.
That's cool.
That's probably the most I achieved at any point in time.
Same here. My biggest thing in high school was I almost got a sack.
Oh, I had a couple sacks. But
You
it
had a
wasn't-
sack?
Yeah, I mean, I played defensive tackle, and with the hearing loss, like never jumped offside, so it was a real weapon.
You were really watching the ball.
And so when I wasn't basically told what to do exactly, I would just shoot the gap between the center and the guard.
Dangerous.
And usually the exchange between a center and a freshman and sophomore quarterback was tenuous to begin with. So you get a few sacks that way.
Okay, nice.
But then they like had something that they wanted me to run, and it usually wasn't shooting the gap, so I wasn't as valuable in that regard. Now, Columbus, in all of its brilliance, with this knowledge of my hearing loss, also asked me to play offensive line, in which I could not hear the snap and would start the play a beat behind everybody else. And then that's why my football career basically ended as a sophomore.
Well, you could have just been a defensive only guy.
That was the plan. It somehow, got lost in
Numbers were
translation.
down.
Somehow, I don't think it would have mattered in the final 2 years of high school, where 2 wins across the last 16 games.
So in order to get yourself to that place where you're excited about football again, I don't know, maybe it's the sunrise for you.
No, I was already excited about football.
Okay, good.
I've been back in the mode for probably really July. Once July hits, I think it's the preview season of everything, and then we're gonna start hitting all of the media days. And we already had the Big 12 already started.
We have an ACC this week.
Everybody gets their own week. Is that basically what this is?
I think that's kind of how they've done it. The ACC is this week. The SEC is next week. The Big Ten finishes it off in 2 weeks. So I guess that's maybe they've all played nice with each other in that regard. Tonight in Philadelphia, it is the Home Run Derby. We were able to successfully name 4 of the participants in the Home Run Derby before the show started, and then I have to quiz Mike Schaefer on who the other 4 are because I'm looking at them right now. We knew that there was going to be the 2 Phillies in the Derby. It's in Philadelphia tonight, Schwarber and Bryce Harper. We have Jack Caglione, as you can see on my shirt that says
nice shirt.
Cags.
There's a red version of this with the white lettering that just says SIGs that kids in Indiana are wearing.
Probably.
And then the people who don't know who Kurt Signetti are just like, whoa, cigarettes are making a comeback?
No. Well, that's a good reason to wear the shirt. Junior Caminero is in the Home Run Derby. And then we have 4 others.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just throw me like
What do you
team
want?
or
You want a
position.
division or you want a team? Or
Give me a team. Give me a team. We'll start with that.
We have a Yankee.
1 Yankee. So Ben Rice.
Ben Rice.
Okay, he's hitting a lot of home runs this
We
year.
have a Red Sox.
Ooh. Do they have anyone playing particular? Wilson Contreras is having a good
Wilson
year.
Contreras.
Okay, so
we have a Chicago White Sox.
Okay, so they have several guys that have hit a bunch of home runs. I'm gonna say it's the younger guy, Montgomery, Colson Montgomery.
No,
It's Miguel Vargas.
no,
It's Munetaki Murakami.
it's Murakami, which is
Okay.
awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
That dude was a lot of fun. He was a man of the weekend back in late April or
And
early May.
we have a Cardinal,
Okay.
large man.
Oh, Jordan Walker's having a great year.
Jordan
Okay.
Walker. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most star-studded, but
It's kind of fun.
there's a lot of young guys that could be potentially well. And
If
there's
you
also
replace
Wilson
like
Contreras.
if you replace like Ben Rice with somebody more exciting, then I think this would be good. You just can't have a guy named Ben Rice in
Poor
the whole
Ben
run.
Rice. Ben Rice is having a great year.
I know, but his name is Ben Rice.
I know.
It's just not exciting.
He has 29 home runs this year.
Yeah,
Whoa.
he plays in a tiny baby
He
ballpark.
does play, and he's a left-handed hitter, and so he's just hitting 315 out to right.
But he's a big guy. I like this idea that we're at right now. We have giant people who are in this home run derby.
That's good.
We have Cags. We have Jordan Walker. Murakami is not giant in the way that those guys are. Giant in a different way. Same with Schwarber. And then Rice is pretty big, and so anyway, that'll be fun tonight. Back.
Gone. Is there anybody that you're disappointed is not part of this? Because now I'm thinking about it, and I don't know that like if you could get the biggest name, sure, but you almost never do anymore.
Yeah, that's where I would go to, but we're fine. I don't need to see Judge do another one. I don't
Or
need
Shohei. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
This is a fine field.
And we have the All-Star game coming up, of course, tomorrow on this, what is traditionally the deadest week in sports. It's ESPYs week, but we have the FIFA World Cup semifinals and finals this week. Tuesday, France and Spain, and Wednesday, England and Argentina, leading up to a Saturday consolation game, third place game. Anybody? No. And
Yes.
Sunday, the gold, not medal, but the final. That is in New York.
The World Championship, people say.
The World Championship. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that. We have many things coming up on the show today. Our man of the weekend coming up in just a little while. Tim Verghese and Michael Bruns will join the show.
We got guests.
I apologize. We do have guests. We're back to our regular guy. I think everybody's back in the normal rotation. So that's a good thing. So that's our lineup. And we also have a variety of different topics from over the weekend as well. Some Husker football, some not. The latest Michigan scandal. Excuse me, the MLB draft. Kurt Signetti. We could still talk about Kurt Signetti. Joel Klatt is saying things. A fight in the NBA. Joey, any interest?
Ooh, I'm interested.
All right.
I kind of heard about this, but I like to hear more about it.
This is good. And the Husker topic today is this. So just get ready for this. This season is not a success without what?
Oh,
The season is not a success without enter your thing here.
all right.
So there you go. Think about it. 402-951-1620. That's the way to get in touch with the show. On the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, call or text that number. Tweet us at Hap and Schaefer, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers this morning. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. And we are off and running on a Monday on 1620 The Zone. Over the weekend, we had the Major League Baseball draft. Many things happened, including 2 Huskers getting drafted. If I would have told you 2 Huskers got drafted, you would have probably said, oh.
Who's that huge guy?
Yeah, you would have said, who's that huge guy? But you would have said, really? That's interesting. I kind of thought there would be 3, but all right, I guess it's cool. Like Dylan Carey and Carson Yasa both got drafted and Ty Horn didn't. You know, that makes a lot of sense. You would be wrong. Ty Horn was drafted 94th overall in the 3rd round by the Cincinnati Reds. And the Chicago Cubs took Carson Yasa 98th overall in the 3rd round, just 4 picks later. And then the rest of the draft happened, which is now 20 rounds, famously. And 613 picks went by, and none of them said Dylan Carey, which is sort of baffling to me. I don't really understand that. I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I spent, a portion of last night trying to figure out, okay, what could have possibly happened here? And I didn't land on anything substantive. I don't know. I don't know how he didn't get drafted. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Joey. The only thing that I can think of is that he wanted more than what you're going to get as a senior for your signing bonus, and so teams just passed on it because of that. Maybe his agent isn't great. I have no idea. It's 2 years in a row where a guy that is good enough to play minor league baseball. I would not bet on Dylan Carey making it to the majors. It's not like
he's going to be a huge prospect.
This is a guy that's clearly good enough to be playing in A-ball somewhere right now.
I mean, I know the draft has shrunk down to the 20 rounds now, and that has taken some of the, the shenanigans out of it, where teams would go in the 37th round and they would draft a quarterback, in the MLB draft or something like that, whatever. It's taken a little bit of that out of it, but there's still plenty of room for a guy like that to get drafted, for which with as much production as he had. And, he won the best shortstop in college baseball award over the number 1 pick in the draft, which is kind of unbelievable. So that is really weird to me. I don't get it. I'm sure he'll get an opportunity somewhere. Unfortunately, the road will just be a little bit harder for him now.
The wilder thing is seeing Ty Horn go. Not that he got drafted. I was expecting him to get drafted. I mean, he's got a live enough arm, and he's a bulldog on the mound, and the mentality can play up wherever he's at. I was absolutely floored to hear it was the 3rd round, and then it went before Carson Yasa. Like, I was genuinely shocked by this. And of course, we'll have a chance to talk with Michael Bruns to see what else he knows on the subject. But I mean, Ty Horn at times was absolutely electric for Nebraska, and then it would sort of go away a little bit. We talked about this when he was pitching, and they took him out of the role that he was in, and then they kind of used him as a throw him in there fireman reliever. If he were to make the majors in that kind of a role as a relief pitcher, that I think is his best route to sort of end up there. I don't know that he's going to be there as a starter necessarily, or an innings eater, or all of these different things. But that guy in big moments showed up for Nebraska a lot in the last 2 years.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out over the next couple of years for him in the minor league system. A lot of this, a yearly reminder here. A lot of the MLB draft it has a different aspect than all the other drafts do, and
maybe
that
hockey is the most similar.
That aspect in baseball in particular is called signability, and I think Ty Horn seemed like he made it kind of clear that he was going to be signable.
Sure.
Especially if drafted at a certain point, and there you go. So he's going to be gone. And even though he could come back to Nebraska next year, he's going to be gone, because that is certainly way too high for him to come back to a place like Nebraska. And then Yasa was out of eligibility, and Carey was out of eligibility too. So that's what makes it even more so weird that he wasn't picked up in this draft. So we did have the MLB draft over the weekend, and there was a lot of commentary on just, what there has been a lot of it over really since COVID. The idea was, remember, to put it in Omaha and do it around the MLB in Omaha game, or whatever, if that was going to continue going forward, and they were going to do a college baseball Hall of Fame or something like that. Remember all that stuff?
I do.
Well, there was big plans for the MLB draft. The MLB draft, Rob Manfred, haven't necessarily figured it out yet. they had the draft inside of a convention center around the All-Star game this past weekend. And I saw multiple clips where they were doing some post-game analysis or post-draft analysis on MLB Network, like post-day one. They like shut the lights out on them. You know, they were moving around the curtains and drapes and stuff like that. And they were just like, all right, they clearly not very, I don't know, prioritized as whether it's the event that's or the place that's hosting it or whatever it might be in general. And then just to cap it all off, you have the number one pick being announced by Commissioner Rob Manfred. Here is how that sounded.
With the first pick of the 2026 MLB draft, the Chicago White Sox select Rock Chalewski, a shortstop from UCLA.
Rock Chalewski. With the number one pick, the White Sox pick Rob Chalewski.
That guy is so bad at every aspect of his job.
Every time he gets in front of a microphone, it gets worse and worse and worse. Remember the one All-Star game or World Series or whatever where it sounded like he was hammered because he had the feedback in his ears? Yeah.
Like, is Manfred drunk? Like trending on Twitter because he can't talk.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm not like surprised, and apparently, you know, it's difficult to pronounce names. I can admit that. I've been there before. It would seem likely that someone would have given you a card or gone over practicing the most likely number one overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
You know the name. It's a possibility, at least, that you would have put a little effort and a little practice into this. But you're Rob Manfred. You can't be bothered to care about the sport of which you're the commissioner of. You can't possibly do that.
With the first pick of the 2026 MLB draft, the Chicago White Sox select Rock Chalewski, a shortstop from UCLA.
We're gonna have to use that one for forever, you know.
Good on the White Sox for not overthinking this, as the conversation seemed to be leading into it.
Yeah, it's what happens where you have a assumed number one pick for several months leading into the draft. You're like, wonder is he actually that good? Or I wonder what would happen if we took somebody else here, and they didn't. So good job by them.
I laughed. So I think this is the first time the Major League Baseball draft has been on over-the-air television. It was on NBC for a portion of Saturday.
For the first 10 picks, I believe. Yes.
And then it past 10 picks because they went to the celebrity golf tournament. And so it was like that was going to start at 1:30 no matter what. And so I think they got to pick number 11 or 12 in that range. And then it's just like, all right, well, coverage continues, you know, on the internet or on a spreadsheet somewhere, or, you know, follow your favorite
Peacock.
draft guy on Twitter. Yeah. But it's just great. Like I'm in the hotel. I have it on. I'm like, okay, the draft goes to 1:30. How many picks are they going to get?
Nobody knows where this thing is. Nobody knows how to pronounce Rock Chalewski's name.
It is not, and it doesn't need to be like this television product. I am not saying that it has to be that.
I just would like to know what you're trying to do.
It can be a little better than what it is.
I don't know what they're trying to
certainly be better.
I don't know what they're attempting to do with it, but it has been way too. I mean, this is, I believe, the second year in a row you had no actual draft prospects or draftable players attend the draft.
Right.
You know, part of what makes the other drafts great. And like you said, Schaefer, I don't know that you need to do this, but part of what makes the other drafts cool is that you have the players there and they sit and wait, or they don't. Those guys,
well, it's like a celebration of stuff.
Yeah, those guys don't see the upside of showing up because they don't know when or where they're going to get picked. So they stay at home and they celebrate with their family and stuff like that. And nobody's incentivized to go.
Right.
And it's placed inside of either the MLB Network studios in Secaucus or inside of a convention hall outside of the All-Star game in Philadelphia. And you could just walk in there. You know, they had like an escalator in the background of this thing. It would look like a mall. So that's how the MLB is doing their draft. Nice job by them.
Are you fired up? You have a Zion to root for in your life now?
I love people named Zion. I was a bit miffed that they decided to take a prospect who was slotted to be drafted at the end of the first round with the 6th overall pick, but I think whatever, whatever floats your boat, bro.
The first 5 picks largely play. First 4 picks largely played to expectations. The Pirates did something a little unusual, and then the Royals did something unusual, and then the draft was.
And the draft got normal again.
Kind of like the Major League Baseball draft is fascinating because of the signability aspect of. Yeah. You have teams like the Braves went deep under slot on both 2 first-round picks to try to sign people later in the draft, which seems to defeat the purpose. Like, why wouldn't you take them earlier and then offer them more money at that point? I've never understood that.
The money,
that's the aspect of
the
it.
money in theory all evens out at the end of the day.
I don't understand.
If you're saving money on pick 6 to get money or to have more money to spend on pick 30, then why not just like right. I agree. By the way, I was excited that the Royals decided to take old boy Taylor Rabe, who pitched at Haymarket Park just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the College World Series.
I was going to say, he also pitched an Omaha.
I was, tailoring it to our audience.
The Guardians took your guy Dayton LaChance.
Oh, big country, big maple.
There's no way he's playing catcher.
I don't think so.
There's just no way.
I think he's playing designated hitter.
Right. It felt like a pick where it's like, okay, this guy can hit, and we're an organization that absolutely cannot evaluate or develop hitting.
Excuse me, sir. What's your position? Designated hitter. Thank you.
It also feels like they're going to hand him an outfield glove and be like, hey, try to go learn left field.
Try to figure this out. If not, we'll still let you.
If you make it to the majors, there's a decent sized wall. You'll have to play angles off of that. Otherwise, let the center fielder get it.
JP writes in on YouTube, has there ever been a better name for Chicago? Rock Chalowski. Sausage, beers, Dicka,
Rock
Chalowski. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then he threw out the first pitch yesterday, right?
Yeah.
At the ball game and on the south side. All right, let's take a quick time out. We'll come back. Our man of the weekend is up on the other side. Excited to see where my cohorts go with this. After this on 1620 The Zone. and excited to see where we're going. I'm gonna guess that Joey is gonna go to the tennis world. That'd be my.
Whoa!
You think so? Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah,
you are right. But there's two parts of this. The winner of the men's single Wimbledon final and our dear friend Mike, Connor Happer.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm happy for Connor, his favorite tennis guy, Yannick Sinner,
I don't think that's
defeating
his favorite.
Zverev or Medvedev. Is it?
No, Zverev. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very.
3-1. It was back and forth for the first two
It
sets.
was good. Yeah.
It was really good, and then Sinner was able to get away with it. He beat two great tennis players to win.
That's always Connor's point. He's able to get away with it.
That's right. He wins by nothing.
He swept through the Djokovic 6-4 in all three sets, and then 1 in 4 against Zverev, which a great redemption arc for him after falling in the French Open that first.
Well, and
round.
should have lost in the first round this year in the Wimbledon,
but
he didn't.
He gathered himself and was able to fight through the tournament and win back-to-back Wimbledon.
Next major that
I'm happy for you, Connor.
What's the next major that matters? U.S. Open coming up at the end
US
of
Open. Yep.
August.
Yep.
So he's going to be in that, and he'll probably win. Very, very close. He'll have to win like 2 tiebreakers in his first round match.
We'll have to see where Alcaraz is at injury-wise because he missed the French Open and Wimbledon.
What I'm saying is, so Sinner's probably going to be ranked number 1, right?
Yeah,
he's still number 1.
He's going to be ranked
number one even after losing.
He's going to have
in the
a
second
first round match against somebody you've never heard of. And he's going to win that match 7-6, 7-6. And then he'll move on to the next one. And he'll probably do the same thing again until he loses in the quarterfinals to somebody. Because it always feels like something crazy happens in the U.S. Open. And then I'll say, here, I told you so. I know the book on this guy. I told you last week that he was going to win just by not a lot. And that's what he did.
Has there been an American in any final of men's or women's tennis in the Australian French or Wimbledon? I know there wasn't in Wimbledon. I'm pretty sure there wasn't in the French.
There wasn't in French. I
don't remember the Australian.
I think Madison Keys she won the Australian Open, if I remember right.
Okay, so
she won her first major.
Okay.
That's the only person I can think of.
I was going to say, are we going to go the entire calendar year
January
without a U.S. player playing for a title in one of the major events?
I think
for the men's, that's very common.
For the men's, it's very common, but for the women, you'll get them every once in a while. We missed out on Coco Gauff. She had a very, very tough defeat to Mukova in the semifinals in that tiebreaker of the third set.
Okay. It's Yannick Sinner's number 1. Schaefer?
Okay, my man of the weekend, I am going back to Minneapolis where I attended a fantastic wedding, and you think I could hand it out to the participants in the wedding.
The bride and the groom?
No. Instead, I am going to the DJ, Benny Nord. If you are in the Minneapolis area, this is the best DJ experience I've ever had anywhere.
What?
Why? Because it was accompanied with a live saxophone player who was phenomenal.
Wait, DJ plus sax?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the guy had his own mixes and everything, and then the transitions, and he would hit these spots where basically it would just be a solo saxophone playing, and we're on an island as the sun is setting on Lake Minnetonka. Coolest venue I've ever been to a wedding. Only time I've ever taken a boat to a wedding. A live saxophone player with a DJ that was phenomenal. There was a CO2 machine. It was a terrific wedding all the way around. And Benny Nord, the DJ, big part of it.
Did you purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
No, I did not, which is also the waters of the Minnesota Vikings love boat scandal from the early 2000s.
Yes, I have been on Lake Minnetonka.
I was educating people of this
many, many times.
You've been on Lake Minnetonka many times.
That's right. Yeah.
Whoa.
We were taking a ride around the boat once, and my uncle was like, that was Kevin Garnett's old house.
Yeah, no, there's houses. There's
some old abandoned house.
Yeah. Well, I imagine those have been purchased and now.
Maybe this is several years ago, I guess, at this point. But all right, awesome, nice job by
Very
DJ
cool.
Benny. What?
Benny Nord. The saxophone player was Nick. I could not figure out the last name. I looked for this yesterday. Benny Nord and Nick. Way to go!
Yeah, I love that. Sax plus DJ.
The saxophone is. If you're good at the sax, that's a awesome instrument to be good at.
It is.
If you're good at the French horn, I don't really care. But if you're good at the sax,
nobody cares about the French horn.
Right.
Saxophone and trumpet. Those
Yeah,
are
that sounds right.
Those are the best two.
That sounds right.
Well, this could be a good power ranking with tiers.
Brass instruments?
No, instruments that you would like to be good at.
Oh, yes. Should we tomorrow?
That is good. That is actually
I have
good.
a clear number 1 and then a number 2. And
I do
then
too.
I got two.
After
I
that
have a
number
clear
ones.
number one.
I got
easily.
two number ones.
I feel like we're all thinking about different things too.
Probably.
So, all right, exciting. We'll do that tomorrow. We have to remember that though. Joey.
Joey.
The document. All
Gonna
right.
do that.
My man of the weekend is a man that you have likely never heard of. His name is just Carl. And Carl decided to take himself up to Yellowstone National Park this weekend. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have heard about it. I have seen it.
We don't need any audio on this. I'm going to do some play-by-play. Here's a humble bison just hanging out. And there's Carl in the background with his white beard. I don't know who's with him. I'll get to that here in just a second. This person is wearing a Miami Dolphins jersey, who I think is for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Or Jarvis Landry.
Get your phone out. Take a picture. Oh, my God, it's a bison. He's right there. Look at him. He's rolling around. Uh-oh. He actually seems kind of angry. He's wagging his tail.
He's agitated.
All right. Uh-oh. Bison's on a dead sprint toward our friends here, Carl and Jarvis Landry, and he is not giving up. All the way through the trees, there goes Carl. He thought he got away, but at the very last second, here comes Mr. Bison for one last push, sending Mr. Carl straight into the air right there. and so Carl just laid on the ground and he was fine. He was not injured or anything like that. 8:30 Friday night, Bridge Bay Campground near Yellowstone Lake at the southeastern quadrant of the park in Wyoming. This was all on video by a local professional photographer.
Yeah, that was a great video.
The best part about it, Mike McLeod, a local photographer based in Bozeman, which is about 130 miles away from where they're at Yellowstone National Park, just got all of this on video and created the most viral video of the last probably several weeks, I would say.
So there's something in there. Carl moves better than you would have guessed
Carl's
when you first
getting
see
around.
him coming onto the screen. Now, and I don't know if that's because he's fearing for his life because there's a bison. But when you first see Carl, it looks like he's going to move like George R.R. Martin. But instead, he's got a little more speed in his game than I would have guessed.
The bull, hung around for the bison. The bull bison hung around for a little while and, pushed it right at Carl and the person in the Miami Dolphins jersey. A pickup drove by, of course, as you saw if you were watching along with this in the video. The bison could be up to about 2,000 pounds and sprint up to 30 miles per hour.
You're not going to win that battle.
Unfortunately, I kind of thought Carl was going to get away. He was doing some evasive maneuvers throughout the trees and things like that. I don't know what happened to Jarvis Landry / Ryan Fitzpatrick. That person turned out okay, unharmed by the bison.
Good.
At least, which is good. And Carl himself is also okay. He was laughing as he was laying on the ground, getting some medical attention, maybe a bruise or two, but Carl turned out to be okay. And this is a great reminder for Yellowstone to tell everyone, please keep a respectful distance from the bison when you're at Yellowstone National Park.
I mean, just out there walking within 100 yards.
If you're outside, be by your car so you have a backup plan.
I imagine though that's not that uncommon, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on.
You're in a wildlife area.
It just depends on what you're doing and where you're doing, and obviously, the animals are free to roam. I mean, the people are a little more contained than the animals are.
The photographer, Mr. McLeod, said he was in a lot of pain with his leg, and otherwise he was conscious the whole time, in good spirits, and joking. Neither the National Park Service or Yellowstone officials have released any information about the attack. A hospital did not immediately respond to a request for Mr. McDaniel's condition. That would be our dear friend Carl McDaniels. It is mating season bison mating season, which also coincides with Yellowstone's peak tourism season. Park regulations require visitors to stay at least 25 yards or about 75 feet away from bison at all times.
I think he was 75 feet away.
I know. And
So
well, at a certain point, he wasn't.
No.
He got real close.
He was not. This isn't going to be a Harambe situation, though.
No,
right?
he's alive.
No, it won't be. It won't be.
Everything's fine.
Bison did nothing wrong.
And they're not going to smoke the bison. No.
Good.
Unless one day, he's tagged for it or, whatever it might be. I don't know. He's cool. Carl Isom McDaniel is my man of the weekend.
He is. How many shows is he going to appear on over the next
He's
going to
be on Good Morning America within the next 48 hours.
Already they're flying him out there, treating him in the airplane.
Yeah, Joey, turn it back to cable. Turn it back to network TV.
Just gonna say, oh no, not yet.
Because he's about to show up on there for sure. All right, that is our man of the weekend. If you have one, send it our way. 402-951-1620, either on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline or tweet at us on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed at Happen Shape. Before we take a break, I want to remind you all that 1620 The Zone has you covered this summer with Arby's, of course, best known for their roast beef sandwiches and iconic curly fries. They're bringing back the Angus cheesesteak, which is similar to the Philly Arby's. We have the meats. Listen all week on Sportsline Conduct for your chance to win a $25 gift card to our friends from Arby's. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Good luck with that, Dan.
All right, my big clock is telling me that it's just shy of 7 o'clock here on a Monday morning. Happer Schaefer rolls on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Happy Home Run Derby Day to those who celebrate. Maybe this is another game that we could play. We guessed the participants of the Home Run Derby earlier. Guess the rules of the Home Run Derby. Those seem to change.
It switched from time to total swings. I think
we're going back to the almost traditional format that we
swings, and then it can't end on a home run. So as long as you keep hitting home runs, you get to continue to swing.
So let me look at the exact rules. In recent years, the Home Run Derby has been a race against the clock, but Monday's event is going to be set with a number of attempts. Batters get 20 swings in the opening stage, 15 in the second round, 15 again for the finale. If a player homers on his last swing, he keeps going until he fails to hit another. The assumption here is that swings will be cleaner and broadcasts will be more suspenseful without the timer to rush everything. Oh, you don't say! It's almost like someone was telling them this years and years and years ago when they decided to do this stupid timed thing.
I'm actually, I don't know how much I'll get to watch, but I am fascinated, like how many majestic home runs we're getting in. Because again, you pointed this out.
I don't care about how many home runs they hit. I want to see how far they can hit them.
Or you want a Josh Hamilton-esque performance in Yankee Stadium?
Yes. Which
that was amazing.
He both hit many of them and very far.
Yeah. Now, honestly, the Josh Hamilton baseball experience was not very long lasting, but what we got out of it was pretty amazing.
Well, I mean, it only adds to one of the things that I talk about with the Home Run Derby every year. And Bryce Harper joined the club this weekend. Just give them all metal bats, put nets around the entire field, and see how far they can launch them. 600 feet. Josh Hamilton, the example of Josh Hamilton is not a metal bat, but he was just on steroids the entire time. So that's what you could, steroids, cocaine, whatever it might have been. So
he was on stuff.
He was on stuff. He was on drugs. So I would not be an advocate for giving the Home Run Derby participants drugs beforehand.
Whoa.
But I would be an advocate for giving them metal bats.
Do you have a prediction for who you think is going to win?
Jack Caglione.
Okay. All right.
I actually do kind of think he's going to win.
I mean, look, that guy's batting practice at the College World Series.
Yeah.
Was amazing.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, utterly amazing. And the sound that it makes when he connects with a baseball was obviously they use metal bats or aluminum bats or whatever in college baseball. The sound that it makes, even when he hits with a wooden bat, is incredible.
So he took BP yesterday at Camden Yards where the Royals were playing, and Joe Goldberg, the Royals sideline reporter, was sort of detailing this as it was happening. And he was like, yeah, both teams are in the dugout right now, and they're watching very, very intently, and everyone's just packed Utah Street, and like this is an absolute power display.
There's like a part of me that just wants to go and watch a Royals game, not because of the Royals, clearly, but just to go to the batting practice to see that guy hit again. Like, I mean, I haven't seen him in person since he was here with Florida.
The good thing now is he's actually capable of hitting in games. He's like
having a very nice year.
Yeah, he's a very valuable baseball player, at least at this point in time. The previous Home Run Derby winners, 2025, Cal Raleigh, 2024, Teoscar Hernandez, 2023, Vlad Guerrero Jr., 2022, Juan Soto, 2021, Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso won, and so he was in the finals for 3 straight years or 3 straight derbies, I suppose. He won in 19, 21, and I think he was in the finals again in 22, or maybe he was in the finals before that. He was the guy who was like, I'm good at home run derbies, and I'm going to make it my specialty to be good at home run derbies, and won a couple titles because of it. Most home run derby titles ever for any individual. Ken Griffey Jr. won 3. 94, 98, and 99. Jack Caglione will win his first tonight in Philadelphia, which is very, very exciting. As you can tell by my shirt, it says Cags on it. In college athletics over the weekend, what's this? Another something happening, another drama happening at Michigan? I'm shocked by this. Michigan athletic director Ward Manuel, his time in Ann Arbor might be coming to an end.
Like all of the coaches that he's hired.
Yeah. He was hired as Michigan's AD in 2016. I saw the tweet going around over the weekend with all of the list of scandals and all of the list of things that have just happened at Michigan over the last decade. Did sign a 5-year extension in 2024, which currently runs through 2030, pays him about $2 million a year. And so he would be, it sounds like he's going to be fired today for his involvement in, or here's how it's read from Ross Dellinger. His future is in doubt in the wake of a report of an internal investigation around the Sharon Moore saga. That is what we know about the situation right now for Ward Manuel. So yet another thing at Michigan.
Yeah, and it's like amazing this guy still has a job. Like truly amazing.
Well, he probably doesn't.
Well, to even get to this point, though,
Yeah.
like you have the sign stealing, sure. You have everything that happened to Juwan Howard. You have the fact that there was a coach on their campus that was trying to steal credit card data from students.
Nice.
And hacking into information to the point where the FBI has to get involved, which actually inadvertently may have tipped off the entirety of the sign stealing scandal. All of this has happened under his watch. They had issues with COVID with wrestlers and their wrestling program. There was no just shortage of things happening here. Like, it's just incredible to me that he even survived as long as he did before you even get to Moore and everything that happened there. And I don't know what the exact nature of the misconduct that is
I don't either.
occurring here.
Yeah.
I
will say, just from keeping my ear to the ground on things that happen around the Big Ten, it didn't seem like there were many in the Michigan world that were like huge fans of Ward Manuel, at least at this point in time. So maybe it's one of those things where they found an excuse to
I wonder that too, if it's like, hey, maybe we just need to move on from this guy and here's our best opportunity. Oh, wait, here's the entire history of what's happened here.
Right.
But
interesting thing to be brought up.
Beyond Ward Manuel, it just says so much about Michigan and this place that holds itself in a regard that no one else holds it to. And this all occurs there. Like, it's just amazing to me. And just, another Michigan scandal, another time in which their head coach can't be on the field because he's suspended, which has occurred more there than anywhere else that I can even think of.
It's occurred a lot over the last handful of years here.
They do this after he hires Mike Boynton as the official basketball coach at Michigan.
That one, that happened on Friday. Not particularly surprising to me, just from the sense of I just didn't think you'd be able to do an entire year as the interim head coach. I just think that's a hard thing to do.
So my thing is, like, I don't see why they would have to remove the title of it because you kept all the players anyways. You're going to go into the season.
I do. I just think that's hard. I just think.
Do you think there's a chance he's still just let go after 1 year?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what the contract, so I don't know like how much money they'd be on the hook for if they just move on.
I just think you go in there and you tell him, like, hey man, you're our head coach. Because you are, so we're going to remove the interim title. And
even though it might still just be a for now situation either way.
That's kind of what it seems like to me.
It could be.
I don't know if they move on from him or, what kind of, agreement is reached at the end of next year. But so the Board of Regents or the Regents will discuss an internal investigation into the culture of the Michigan Athletic Department. This will happen on Thursday. And then as part of that review, a decision on the future of Ward Manuel is anticipated in the days after that. So there you go. There's many, many, many instances of drama from the Michigan Athletic Department, specifically the football program, over the last handful of years here. And this is maybe this is the end. Maybe their culture will magically change after this. Unlikely.
Probably not. I don't think you get here just because of one man.
Yeah. I do wonder what they're going to be like going forward. I don't know. Is clearly Harbaugh era is over, and they have not been quite as good over the last couple of years since they won their national championship. I do wonder what the future of that football program looks like, just in the sense of what are we going to be a national championship contending program? Are we going to be a playoff team every year? Are we going to be an 8 or 9 win program? Or does it get worse? Or does the bottom
Right.
fall out at some point? I genuinely don't know. It could go a lot of different directions.
Yeah,
Whittingham is a stabilizer. At least that's the thought.
it feels that way, and it's sort of a cleanser. Like you're not expecting any of the issues that have occurred under your last two administrations to happen with a guy like Kyle Whittingham. So you have that. It's their over/under is set at like 8.5 this year. They're a team that it wouldn't surprise me if they won 9 games. It wouldn't surprise me if they won 7 games. I don't believe in Bryce Underwood at this point in his career.
Not a believer.
It feels like
Not a Bryce believer.
if you're going off of recent comparisons, it feels real DJ Lagway, where, you know, the stuff that you tout is against bad teams that you should be beating anyways.
Well, I think the thing with both of them is like, we are really, really incredible, superior athletes.
Right.
Like, but there's
Our
some
quarterbacking.
there's some stuff
Right.
on the field that has been missing.
Yeah. Bryce Underwood can throw a football 1,000,000 miles an hour. Bryce Underwood can run pretty well. That's the extent of what's happening on the football field that seems plus.
I would argue that part of his problem is that he throws the football too fast.
No, that is a real issue for some people.
He lacks pace.
No, it's not that he lacks pace. He lacks touch. You
Yeah.
can't just like drop it in over people or anything. It's always straight through.
Fire. So we'll see what happens with Ward Manuel as we go forward. I saw this from over the weekend as well. Speaking of Michigan, the Big Ten in general, Joel Klatt. So this actually, you know what? I'll give credit. BC put this on the 24/7 message board last night, and I hadn't seen it because I'm looking now. It happened during the College World Series. So all the stuff that happened during the College World Series, I just blanked out and never happened at all. Joel Klatt did his favorite over/under win totals for the year in college football. Didn't have Michigan on here, by the way, but he did have Nebraska as one of them, one of his favorite bets of the year. Their win total, of course, set at 6.5, as you know by now. And Joel Klatt, one of his favorite bets this year, is taking Nebraska's under 6.5. Here's why. He says they lost Dylan Raiola to the portal. They lost an All-American running back, Emmett Johnson, to the draft. They got Anthony Calandra. He's come in with a lot of experience with 30 starts. He's a dual threat guy. Nebraska was in the Big Ten high school. Nebraska was last in the Big Ten in high school recruiting rankings, which was a bit shocking. It was a small class, which affected it, but still they should be higher than that in the recruiting rankings. There's no doubt. The schedule lines up for them early, and the Huskers usually get off to a hot start. I think they will get off to a hot start. They could be 5-0 with 3 lower-level non-conference games, Michigan State and Maryland, but if they stub their toe at all, look at the back end of that schedule. Indiana, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, Ohio State, and Iowa. Where are the wins? 5 of those teams were in my post-spring top 25. Nebraska basically has to be perfect early and then still find a win late through that stretch. That's why this path to me is a little murkier than most. Nebraska has bad second halves in a lot of their seasons. Last year, they lost 3 of their last 4. In 2024, they lost 5 out of their last 6. In 2023, they lost each of their last 4. There is a precedent to this, says Joel Klatt, who's taken the undies in 2026.
Yep, 6.5. So that puts them at 6. So he's basically saying they could go 5-0, win Rutgers, and that could be it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your 3-6 Big Ten. You're 3-0 against the MAC in North Dakota.
Yep.
It's a possibility. I mean, there's definitely people out there who think that's the likelihood of how things could go. I remain somewhat skeptical that Nebraska can't find a win against any of Washington, Illinois, even Iowa in that regard. But it's also a possibility that they aren't guaranteed to win the Michigan State, the Maryland, and the Rutgers as well. So I don't think it's a bad bet. As is a general rule of mine, I just stay away from the Nebraska season total.
Let me ask you this.
I don't even know if there's. I assume the juice is on the under for the.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked
We'll
at
look
it in forever. How many people have been doing their ceilings and floors lately? And I guess we haven't really done that on this show, but here's an alteration to it. How many winnable games are there, and how many losable games are there?
Well, okay. I think there's only 2 games that I feel
Are
very
not winnable?
comfortable that are not winnable.
Okay.
And I
Really?
think there
What are those?
I think it's for me, it's Ohio State and it's Oregon. I don't think they can go to Oregon and win. I don't think that they can win at home against Ohio State. Indiana is very, very close on that. I think the saving grace, if you're Nebraska, is you're the best team that Indiana will have played. They will certainly be the best team that Nebraska will have played. You're getting them at home. I don't know if I'm
not making any predictions here. Indiana is comfortably in the winnable category to me. Comfortably in the winnable. Okay. Like it is like, I think you could make and maybe our bars are lower here, but like I think they all.
I thought you were going to push back, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, I get it. They're Indiana. They're coming off of an undefeated national championship.
No, I'm totally with you. I think that's comfortably in the winnable category, and I honestly think they're all kind of winnable. Like,
yeah, I mean,
obviously, this is going into this weird territory where it's like, oh, weird things happen, and stuff like that. But no, I mean, those two games, Indiana, Ohio State being at home, I just don't think you could make a home game unwinnable. That doesn't compute in my mind. The only one that I would hear, I would hear an argument for all of them, but I would probably agree with you on Oregon. That one seems very, very difficult to me, going out on the road to play them coming off of the Indiana game. That seems extra difficult. So I'd probably say 11. Like, they're not going to win 11. I'm not saying, do not put on the internet that I'm going to say that they're winning 11 games. But
Connor Happer, 11-1,
11 winnable games. If you put a graphic out there, that would be kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, and I'm at 10, so I'm like right there with you for the most part. Ohio State, I just don't see Nebraska winning that game, but that doesn't mean that they can't. So, I'm probably closer to 11 than I am 9, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I kind of want to do this. I don't know if we need more time. Like, should we put confidence points across every regular season game Nebraska plays?
Yes.
Do you want to do that right now or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay, we're doing it tomorrow.
How many losable games?
Okay.
So, Joey, you need something to write down here. It is confidence points of a win on every single game.
That feels like
we'll get that.
A great Tuesday topic for us.
Excellent.
So
then how many are losable?
They aren't going to lose any of their first 3. None of those are losable. Not a single one of them. I won't hear a single argument for any of them.
No arguments. Not a single one of them. So
it's 9.
Yeah, I think it's 9.
It's 9.
Yeah.
They won't lose any of their first 3 games. 9. They could lose any of the rest of their games, and I could see it happen.
Yeah, I was thinking hard about those first 3, and I just don't. I don't see it either. So certainly not.
People want to point out, like, Nebraska's lost to Troy, Nebraska's lost to this team, and it's like, okay, the history of Mountain Rule, though, is they've largely taken care of teams like this in non-con without much of an issue. Like, they've won by double. Like last year, absolutely beat down a 5-win Akron team. Houston Christian's terrible. They took care of them.
Terrible.
They took care of Louisiana Tech when Heinrich Harburg was their quarterback. They took care of Northern Illinois in a very boring, ugly fashion, but they still won 31-3 or whatever it was. Like, they win these games. You can't boogeyman the non-conference schedule for me at all. You just can't. I think they're going to handle those games really without issue.
Yeah, they should be fine.
Yeah,
they should be fine. I don't know that I agree with everything you just said, but I
think I said that they'll win all 3 of those games by 3 scores or more at some point on this show.
Ooh.
Maybe you were gone, but I think I said that.
You probably did, and I probably just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Chance says, I'd argue Bowling Green because it'd be really funny.
It's hard for me to argue against the hilarity of it for certain individuals.
The comedic level of them losing to Bowling Green is relatively high. Yeah.
Is it funnier to lose to Bowling Green or North Dakota?
It's probably funnier to lose to Eddie George's Bowling Green Falcons.
Does Tommy Frazier, is he going to be invited to the Bowling Green game just to stand across from the field and be like, this is the guy that should have won the Heisman?
I'd say you have to do that.
Yeah, he has to have some involvement.
There's got to be some sort of reference, whether it's on the scoreboard or not. Okay, so I'm going with 11. I'm trying to make myself make sense here.
I'm 10 and 9.
11 winnable games and 9 losable games.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's taking each one of them as their own thing in a vacuum, right? The games are the games.
The games are the games. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
It's fair. I am very interested in this confidence points thing because I want to know once you get past the first three, who you have at the 9 spot, your 9 most confidence points that Nebraska gets a win.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom of it, I want to know who 4, 5, and 6, what that order looks like. I think I know the teams, but I'm interested.
I'm thinking about how to do it in my head right now. All right, we get an idea of how to do that tomorrow. Here is Doc on the text line. Your takes are insane. What makes you think Nebraska could beat Indiana or any other ranked team for that matter? This is literally insanity. It's the same stuff, but a different year. I would like to be double clear. I did not predict that Nebraska would beat Indiana.
Connor Happer, 11-1. Joey's working on the graphic right now.
I did not predict this.
Connor Happer, college football playoff insight for Nebraska in 2026.
I didn't say any of these things, but you guys aren't even willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could beat Indiana at home. Like, really?
They're not willing to entertain the possibility Nebraska can beat Washington at home or Illinois on the road or Iowa.
That's a good follow-up question. Is that, Doc, answer that. Is that true? Are you willing to entertain the possibility that they could beat the middle level, like the second from the top level teams? Because if not, then we're clearly not going to be able to have a conversation here.
That's sort of where half of the fan base, not half. It's definitely not half. Quarter, a third, a fourth of the fan, fourth.
It's not a very high percentage.
Fifth?
But yes, now I will say this about Indiana, and do not put it on the internet that I'm disrespecting Indiana, because I am a lover of Indiana, as we've talked about before. Kurt Cignetti is by far the best coach in the country, and there's not an argument to the contrary. But it's not like they're it's not like they're the most talented team in the country.
You're not playing 2025 Indiana.
Yeah.
You're getting them at the right. Some of it is when it's scheduled. Like if they were getting Ohio State when they were getting Indiana, I would probably flip those two in terms of how I feel about Nebraska's chances in that exact situation. I really would.
Yeah.
I think it's much better to be getting Indiana at the beginning of the year as they're going through a transition at quarterback, as they're sort of having different players step into key roles.
That's right. All the James Madison guys are gone.
Yeah. So like they have to sort of figure out who they are in 2026. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be great. I don't know if they're a college football playoff team again, because I don't have the same belief in Josh Hoover as some other people do.
I think they probably are.
But I definitely think Kirk Cignetti's really good.
Yeah.
So, like, is the likelihood Nebraska going to beat them? No. But is there a higher percentage chance of that than some are willing to give? Yes.
Doc follows up. He says, I can entertain that they could beat middle-level teams, but I'm not going to entertain the fact that Nebraska could beat a national championship caliber program, because they haven't even beat a ranked team in how long? 10 years. You have to see it before you can believe it. They couldn't even beat Indiana the last time they played Indiana in Lincoln, and that Indiana team was half of last year's team. Well, that game wasn't in Lincoln. That game was in Bloomington. Anyway, they
did lose the last time Indiana was in Lincoln. So
but that team wasn't very good.
That team was in 2019.
Yeah,
and that team was decent.
Yeah, would they win 8 that year?
That was an 8-4 team,
yeah.
I think.
You also forget to mention that Indiana's coaching staff has clearly proven to be way better and more successful than Nebraska's coaching staff, who legitimately is a new staff every single year. I do not have an argument on the last part.
You are not saying. Now I have to step in. You are not saying Nebraska is going to win this game.
I'm not saying that.
You are saying there is the outlier result where Nebraska could win that game. And so you would put it into the category of a potential winnable game.
That's all.
Not that they will win.
Winnable. Like, what is another example of something that something could happen? Like something. Let's see. Like, it could rain today. Is it projected to rain today? No. It could rain. The forecast is gonna tell you that there is not a cloud in the sky all day long. And I'm gonna say, you know what? Guess what? It could rain. You cannot rule out the possibility that it could rain.
0% precipitation.
Guess what? You can't rule it out. You can't rule it out. It could rain.
Would you get like a 1%?
Would you be willing to bet your life that it won't rain today?
No, absolutely not.
Of course you would.
If you bet your life related to weather in Nebraska, you are an idiot.
Thank you. That's my point. You're an idiot. Thank you, Fanta.
He's always got her back.
He really does. There you go. I don't know why I'm passionately making the case for this, but here we are.
You're not even passionately making the case.
It could rain.
You're saying that there is a non-zero chance that Nebraska could win a football game against Indiana
At home.
at home.
Yeah. At home.
Yeah.
All right. We have more texts to get to on the other side. We will take a break and be back with more right after this on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Howdy, County here.
All right, you may have just heard it. The Road to Wrigley Sounder, brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. If you would like to take a trip to Wrigley Field to see Nebraska volleyball play against Missouri, the game is Sunday, September 6th. We're going to help you out with round-trip airfare for two from Omaha to Chicago, a two-night hotel stay in downtown Chicago, and a $150 gift card for extras as well. All you got to do is head to 1620thezone.com. Enter for your chance to win right now. We're putting those sounders in as reminders for you. That is presented by Union Bank and Trust at UBT. People don't have your money has people. Member FDIC. All right, to the comments we go. I have, by the way, put out a poll question, or at Happenshafe has put out a poll question. Last week was poll week on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. They're doing lots of polls. I was excited about them.
So they follow up our innovative, never done before bit week with just putting out a bunch of polls that they do all the time anyways. What did John ask every day what the win total was going to be?
It was, yeah, you can go check them out.
Are there different phases of the Nebraska football season or off season, whatever they do?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we went
phases.
into a next phase yet. That's probably not till camp starts. But there was a bunch of polls last week. Here is our poll for today. Are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this year? Very early returns. 57% are saying yes at the moment, which is contrary to what we got immediately on the text line. Just actually, I only read the text from Doc, who was not happy with us. Let's read more texts. Text from 308. I love that Joel is doubting us. Every year he says we're the dark horse and a potential playoff team. Then we suck. I think this is the first year that he's finally doubting us. Maybe that's a good thing. You know what? I'm starting to the summer and the lack of sports and all these things, they might be getting to me at this point. But I've been thinking along those lines over the last several weeks. It's like, you know what? I kind of like this whole quiet, nobody.
This is how it happens.
This is how it works.
The spark in the dark.
You gotta go under the radar, under the radar. So I don't know if that's going to actually mean anything, but we'll find out.
We'll see what the radar looks like on August 22nd.
John writes in, a possibility of 11 winnable games. Was Rule fired over the weekend and I missed it? No, Nebraska cannot beat Indiana at home. Cannot. So you, John, and you, Doc, would bet your life on it. You'd say, no problem. Today, I'll tell you with 100% certainty, I'd be willing to pay some sort of an unreasonable price if Nebraska, my favorite football team, were to win a home game against the lowly Indiana Hoosiers or the formerly lowly Indiana Hoosiers. You'd be willing to pay that price today? It's very interesting. Maybe we should come up with a thing.
A contract?
A contract. Oh, I was thinking about contracts over the weekend as far as like how to get us through these next couple weeks. I have more contracts for you to sign.
Oh, yes.
Signer rolls.
I like it.
We haven't done a signer roll in a long time.
Yeah.
It's another thing we need to do. And then we need to remind ourselves of. But almost like, if you're willing to sign up for today, you write your name on a piece of paper, and it's almost like a class action thing. You write your name on a thing with everybody else who wants to join you, and you say, I, X person here, am willing to guarantee that Nebraska will not beat Indiana in football this year, and I am willing to pay an exorbitant price if Nebraska, my favorite football team, does beat Indiana in football this year.
So it's like some version of a fantasy football punishment.
Precisely.
We just have to figure out what it is.
We gather up all these people who want to sign this contract, and we put them on the corner of 72nd and Dodge and say, I suck at predicting Nebraska football or something like that. But that's up to you.
There's so much competition on the corner of 72nd and Dodge.
And here's the deal. If you don't sign this contract, that's okay.
Yeah. You don't have to sign the contract.
You don't have to sign the contract.
In fact, if you don't sign the contract, you're allowing that there's a possibility that a result could happen that even you,
would like.
Predictor of all things and knower of what's about to happen, might not have gotten correct.
John writes in. He says, I'm having another birthday today. I'm closer to the end anyway. If Indiana is at full strength, I'd at least bet my house. And Doc follows up. He says, definitely. I will definitely sign this. All right. We'll get you guys all hooked up then. Let's see. Gus Mohawk writes in. I just got my tickets for that Indiana game. Was in Bloomington when we took that terrible loss. Some of the worst fans I ever encountered in all sports. This is something that I've heard multiple times, by the way. Redemption is needed. Rule will get his signature win on October 10th.
I see what you did there.
There you go. Nice job. Also, Alex and Lincoln writes in, get Bill Ramby on the phone for the whole weather thing from earlier. 0% chance of rain, but are you willing to bet on it? I don't think so. That's all I'm saying. So please vote in the poll question at Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this year? We've currently flipped the odds.
Yep.
59% are saying no.
The votes are rolling in.
Yeah. Schaefer's giving us the retweet. Get it out there to more people.
Yeah, I'm going to go check out these unsportsmanlike conduct polls from last week that I missed out on.
Yeah, you got to check into those. So to recap, Joe Clyde is doubting Nebraska, and the fans, some of you anyway, are doubting Nebraska. We'll do the confidence points thing tomorrow. By the way, one quick thing, we didn't get to this on Friday. We'll just use this for 5 minutes here. There was a ESPN list of the top coaches in college football. And I understand that this runs contrary to Nebraska having a chance to beat them in a couple of months. Curt Cignetti is the number one coach in college football, and you will find not a single argument from me. None at all.
It's fun to have these segments back to back.
I've seen people hate on, or not hate on, but at least doubt. They don't want to say that Curt Cignetti is the best coach in college football just because he's not. He hasn't been around for very long.
You have to say someone else is.
He hasn't coached one of the brand programs or whatever it is. Like, he hasn't earned it yet. I mean, I cannot emphasize this enough. He is the best coach in college football. I don't have any issue with this whatsoever. 46-6 at Indiana. I'm sorry, 27-2 at Indiana. 46-6 as a Division I coach. He got only 5 out of the 10 first place votes on this list of the ESPN writers. Kirby Smart got 4 of them, and Ryan Day got the other one. Which, is there an argument for Ryan Day as the best coach in college football? I'm not sure that I've heard that one.
Well, I mean, they did win a national championship. He's played in several national championships. They're always great, like always great. I mean, if you want a comparison that'll drive people up a wall, Ryan Day is in the Tom Osborne level of always a great program, not necessarily winning national titles. Now, they did in the college football playoff, in 2024. So, but otherwise, that team has been outstanding under him every year.
Are you making the argument that Tom Osborne was born on third base?
I think that Tom Osborne and Ryan Day both had situations in which they inherited tremendous programs as offensive play callers and then continued to have a lot of success to the point where it's funny to me that people try to knock Ryan Day, and it's like, okay, what is he not doing besides winning national titles every year? And it's that. So the standard of which Ryan Day is at is that he has to win a national title every year.
He's dyeing his beard.
He's losing to Michigan. Tom Osborne lost to Oklahoma. I think the comparison's there a little bit. Now, he won his national title, his first one, earlier than certainly Osborne did.
He is 82-12.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like,
Ryan Day is amazing.
I don't understand why there's this much pushback against him. And there's all these other coaches that
I wouldn't call him number one. I'd put him in the top 5 pretty easily.
I'm totally fine with Cignetti being one. I'm fine if you want to put Kirby Smart one, though I think Kirby Smart's about to have a Dabo Sweeney potential situation where it seems like he is frustrated where college football is headed because Georgia isn't at the same level that it was when he won his back-to-back national championships. So we'll see what happens with Kirby Smart, going forward there. Looking at this list, it is amazing to me. Kyle Whittingham is ranked 9th, and yet his team that he was at previously was like, yeah, you can retire. You're the ninth best coach in all of college football.
It only goes to
but
our.
we want a guy named Morgan Scally.
It only goes to our thing. We were talking about, like, just the lifespan of coaches and players. I mean, 20 years to be at a place is just a long time.
Yeah.
It's just a long time. And eventually, whether you're good or you're bad, they get sick of you.
That's not even to say, I think Kyle Whittingham's a good coach. Yeah. It's just to point out, like, when we're doing this, you can't even get 10 coaches where it's like, all right.
Yeah.
And then coach number 5 is a guy that everyone agrees has been tremendous.
Dan.
Since he's been at Oregon, and yet all they have really done is just absolutely get demolished in the biggest game of every season that they play.
Where's good luck with other areas?
Good luck with that, Dan.
Yeah, good luck with that, Dan. Dan Lanning, number 5 on the list.
And if they don't win a title this year, the pressure on him is going to be
It does flip this year.
huge.
It's a big year for them.
So, and again, really good coach. So number 6 is Steve Sarkisian. A lot of this to me is we're at this point with college football where we have made it so hard to be considered to be a great coach if you haven't either won a national title or reached this plateau where everyone just agrees that you're this phenomenal coach.
Yeah.
So that's why it's easy for me to put Cignetti at 1, because the options are completely and utterly not there for anybody else other than Kirby Smart.
We're also living in the post-Urban Meyer and Nick Saban power vacuum here, which still hasn't been completely gobbled up by any one person yet or any 2 people yet, because I think the sport is sort of spread out a little bit beyond the top 3 programs.
Because it'd be really hard to do what he did because it's the landscape of college football.
Exactly.
So
I think the sport is just spread out a little bit. And so I think that's probably part of the reason why as well. Let's take a quick time out. We will come back. Still take your thoughts, by the way. Oh, by the way, Doc wrote in on Ryan Day. Would you like to hear Doc's thoughts on Ryan Day?
Sure.
Doc says, I don't think Ryan Day is a good coach. He hasn't built anything, and they should have won way more than they have based on the talent Ohio State has had since he's been there. He's an okay coach, but I guarantee he couldn't take Indiana or Nebraska to the heights that Cignetti has done.
Okay.
That last sentence, it's probably not wrong. I mean, I don't know. It's just hard to put anybody in the shoes of Cignetti and have it replicated in the same way that he's done it.
I'll take a guy who can replace any of his coordinators and they'll be fine.
He's a good coach. He's a really, really good coach. But like, if you want to just take anybody out and be like, hey, that person could not have turned from Indiana into a national championship team in 2 years, I'd say, yeah, you're probably right. Because I don't think that's really done by a human. I think that's being done by a cyborg.
One guy on the list could do that?
Yeah, that's the one guy.
And number 1.
Yeah. All right. Back after this with the headlines on 1620 The Zone. All right, please vote on our poll at Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Are you willing to at least entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this year? Please vote. We want all of the votes. Joey first has the headlines. Joey, what are we cooking?
Yes, I do. Headline number 1: Man nearly sucked out of window midair on Ryanair plane, passengers say.
Pretty good. I mean, pretty good.
I really don't need I don't need a second story. I really don't.
You don't
You don't even want to hear the headline.
You don't even want
You
to.
can say the headline. The chances of the second story being more interesting to me than someone being sucked out of an airplane mid-flight.
Especially
is-
Ryanair, which is famously like $4 to fly.
Yeah. I've never flown it, but
I haven't either.
I'm interested.
Well, we're not going to select this one anyway, but Idaho man runs marathon while wearing 125 t-shirts.
I had actually heard this one before. So yeah, I agree with
Well,
you.
even still, it would just be a no.
Okay, so man nearly, what does it mean to nearly get sucked out of a window
Close call.
midair? But
Why is the window open?
what does that mean? I mean, I don't know if well, let's find out. Here's the BBC. A man was nearly sucked headfirst out of a cabin window in midair on a Ryanair plane. Passengers have said tracking data shows the plane was in the air for about 10 minutes when it abruptly descended 9,000 feet, with passengers telling local media they heard some kind of explosion. The Greek hospital official said a 61-year-old Serbian national was being treated for friction burns. His wife held onto his legs for about 5 minutes for him to stop him from being sucked out. In a statement, Ryanair said its Friday morning flight from the Greek city of, Thessaloniki to Germany's Memmingen returned shortly after takeoff when a passenger window dislodged in a flight. Yikes, nightmare fuel. The aircraft landed normally and passengers returned to the terminal. One passenger requested and received medical assistance on the ground at the destination city. The Irish budget airline said, that is Ryanair. It added that a replacement aircraft was arranged to bring passengers to their final destination several hours later. Passengers told the local media that the man was left hanging headfirst out of the window as far as his shoulders before other passengers managed to pull him back inside. Those on board have also said the window was smashed by the pieces of the jet's engine, although Ryanair has not commented on this. Wow, this is bad. This is not what you want. Is this new fear unlocked for any of the folks in this room? Do you guys think about any of these things? Do you think about Final Destination things while you're flying or anything like that?
Yeah, depends on the day.
Kind of makes sense that you would, Joey.
Well, I have a lot to think about because I got family in this industry.
Well, sure, but
and it's happened before.
I just get the sense that you're always thinking about the worst possible thing that could happen.
You definitely seem like you have worst case scenario in your head at all times.
I'm ready. I'll be ready.
I married somebody that's like this, so constantly it's hearing about what the potential for the worst case scenario would be. Absolutely would not make me think twice about getting on an airplane or even think that this could happen to me or anything like that.
I don't think so.
I have
either.
some real
Would you, if
his
you were
wife had to hold on for 5 minutes? Like, I don't know how strong his wife is, but if he was being sucked into the air,
you feel like if you're halfway out of the plane and the plane's moving, you're probably dead just from being, just from having that type
elevation and I don't know how breathable the air is up, how high they were,
how high
or
they were,
else.
right? But also you're hanging out the window and the plane's going like 300 miles an hour.
Also, friction burns. Like, what does his face look like?
I don't know. I'm concerned. I have concern. Another passenger said, when the oxygen mask dropped, we had no idea what was going to happen. We didn't know whether we could make it back or not. We were sitting at the back of the aircraft. We realized that there had been some kind of explosion. We thought the plane was going down. The decompression was extreme. It felt like we couldn't breathe. The man who was injured was bleeding and then lost consciousness several times, most likely because of the lack of oxygen and the shock. Now, this paints a scene, right? This paints an interesting picture. This paints a picture of if I was on this plane, I'm probably not getting on the next plane. I'll probably give flying a couple week break and then maybe get back on.
Would you go to a different airline?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, Ryanair.
But the problem is they'd be giving me like thousands of miles of free credit, right?
Yeah.
Like if you get in a plane crash and you survive it, you got to be getting some miles coming your way,
Or
right?
just straight green.
Or stray money.
So
Either way.
yeah, I don't think it would have changed anything for me.
Mike writes in, gee, I can't wait to fly twice in the next 3 weeks.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Nothing's gonna
Hey,
happen.
if I'm flying,
Just sit in the aisle seat.
You're not on a Malaysian airline. You're okay.
if I'm flying over the ocean, I got the Tom Hanks movie to kind of prep me for
Castaway,
anything.
Jesse writes in, he says, I flew Ryanair from Italy to Spain. Super cheap. It was like $60. People were vaping on it. Nobody cared. That's awesome. Shout out to Ryanair, man. They don't give a crap. All right. Those are Joey's headlines. We will come back halfway home on Happer and Schaefer on a Monday on 1620 The Zone. All right, halftime here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. The Zone Radio Network. I'm Connor Happer alongside Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola. Good morning on a Monday.
Good morning, Mike, and good morning, Connor.
Wow.
There. Immediate response.
Good job.
There you go.
We're starting things fresh.
Where were you at the
half.
beginning of this then?
Well, he's making halftime adjustments.
Okay. All right. That's smart.
Yeah.
Opening the second half.
Severe kind of want us to do kind of a halftime thing. He made mention on Thursday.
He said he thought that we could play our open again at 8:00, which is not a bit terrible idea. I'm not against it.
I'll have to find it.
Do you think we need a second, like a halftime open? Because when he was doing Severe and Benning, they had like a special halftime open with like drum lines and all this stuff like that. We can make this a bit.
I kind of want local musicians to submit their versions of Happer and Schaefer that can be played at halftime. That way we have a halftime musical act. You do it like once a week on Fridays or something.
There. We're halfway there.
Yeah, anybody can. I mean, you could do a cover. You could do whichever way you want.
Right. You could make your own.
I still need to make opens for the rest of our occasional guests.
Fire away.
I've been.
Yeah, I gave up. It's all in your court now.
Yeah. I've been brainstorming one for Tim Burgess, and I think I got something. I just need to come up with the lyrics and
Joey,
the beat.
you are the producer. Produce. You have the keys to produce.
Yes, I do.
Produce. Sometimes I produce. Sometimes Mike Schaefer produces. We all talk about producing anyway.
My production is limited, I think.
You do your reads for the one thing.
Yeah, I mean, Joey still sets it all up. I just talk.
But you produce it.
Everything in this job is
You do
someone
the
presses
talking.
buttons and then I talk. Occasionally, I press a button.
Are
to
you
talk,
interested
but
in
not
pressing buttons?
often. No, I don't want to at all.
Really?
I just want to see the light. And I'm like, all right, I talk.
You don't even want to learn. You don't want to what does that thing do?
Not particularly, no.
Do you want to hit? Do you
I
want to
want
play
to know
a drop?
enough that I'm not wasting Joey's time as much as I have been to.
You're not wasting my time. Don't you worry.
That's
about
Joey's job. Do you want to? Do you ever want to play drops or anything like that?
No, when you're not here, drops rarely ever get
Ah,
played.
man,
Well,
drops
no,
are so good.
Joey will play drops, but I will not select the drops.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea! Oh my goodness!
I might say something like, "Hey, Joey, play the," and then whatever. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
I have seen that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Joey, play the Dana Holgerson. Joey, play the
Hooray! Yeah, exactly. Actually,
Hooray is really caught on.
Hey,
I
Joey,
think.
play the Bing Bong.
Bing bong!
I don't think that's ever happened.
I've lined up the people for when you're gone.
All right. Are we going to meet any new friends?
New friends. We'll have one new friend filling in for both days at the. Is it next week? Yeah, it's already next week.
I have one day off at
Thursday and Friday next
have
week.
Thursday and Friday next week, and then I have Friday the week after that.
And the Friday after this. So actually, these are two they have never filled in for this iteration of the morning show. So
but we might know who they are.
you might know who they are.
Okay. Well, exciting.
So,
Are they named
I
Mike S?
One is named Mike S.
Oh, I know who this one is, and I'm
He'll
already
be
excited.
on the last show, and I've been informed I'm going to have to do most of the sports talk.
Interesting.
So
Well, it's the off season.
I think we'll get Parker Gabriel on that show.
Mm.
So we can lean into the interests of this
You know what?
individual.
I thought about texting Parker last week. There was a day, Thursday, when you were gone. We didn't end up having any guests because Max moved back to Friday.
I wondered what happened there.
So we just didn't have anybody. And I thought about texting Parker on Wednesday night just to like, hey, so what's going on? Maybe we could talk about football or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But I didn't, and we were fine.
You don't really.
Michael talks and
Michael
talks
was a
and talks.
4-hour guest on Thursday.
So he told me something that freaked me out. He said, he's probably listening right now. And Michael, you should know that it still freaks me out. He said that he spends his days basically prepping for a 4-hour show that he does not have, that does not exist.
Oh my!
He is always prepared
he's got a
to
bunch
just
of lists.
rip off topics. Yeah, like he's got lists, he's got all these things, and he's always updating all of his stuff too. So he's so locked in a way that I just cannot imagine if I wasn't doing a daily radio show. I would be so not locked in on the topics and my takes and my thoughts about any different thing. It'd be scattered all over the place. But he's got it all. He's got a whole. I mean, he brought like half the topics.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, the thing about Michael that is kind of works in this way, though, is at a moment's notice, he's being asked to fill in on any number of the 3 shows here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's filled in on every show on this station at least twice since January.
But nobody would blame him if he wasn't prepared,
Sure.
right? But
So
he is.
He has that. He has his other podcasts and shows that he does. He's frequently asked to be a guest on a number of shows. So he's perpetually having to be prepared for whatever needs to be talked about for that.
He's ready.
And he's about to start hosting Big Red Wrap Up again. So he's going to be locked in on football in a way that, he has to be for the job. So
Whoa. When
he's
does
like-
Big Red Wrap Up
he's
restart?
like a professional guest / host, whether he's doing it or not. So it's kind of just seems like it's the framework of how his
He's
mind
a
works.
friend of all.
He really is.
He's
the
on
dearest of our
many
friends.
radio
Certainly a friend of
stations,
ours.
many podcasts, many things of that nature, and certainly a friend of ours. Yes. John writes in on the text line, Schaefer isn't going to push any buttons. He doesn't even open his email. Is this true? You don't open your email?
No, it's open right now.
It's open right now. How dare you say
The
that, John?
last thing
There you
I
go.
received was a security alert for the last time I tried to log in. And that was at 8:16 last night. I caught up on the emails that I missed over the weekend. There was
Nice.
one. I replied to it. Gave I ranked the order of games of which I want to do Big Red Overreaction.
Yes, that was an email that went out. Does that mean the draft is dead?
No, the draft is dead. The draft was never going to happen
Sad.
because it would require people to do I'm guessing.
It would require people to follow through,
Yes.
which not our strong suit.
Well, but it would also require people to be available for games, and
Yeah.
some have really made that difficult.
well, there are moving.
Sure.
There's moving.
We
and
finally got the
shaking.
Creighton men's basketball non-conference schedule, which was a big component to
Yeah,
who
and
was
there's
going
not
to do
many
games.
conflicts.
Okay.
there, weirdly enough.
So that opens up 2 people.
I sent mine to Josh on Friday too, or Thursday or Friday, or whatever it was, and I'm mostly available
Okay.
at this stage.
You're
That is,
definitely
of course,
available for
until-
Black Friday.
I'm not available for Black
Ooh.
Friday. I'm mostly available, and I'm not hosting Black Friday again this year. I'm excited for myself. This will be the first time ever since I've worked here that I'm not hosting Black
Look at
Friday,
that.
or at least that's the plan. Who knows? But I'm available until I start saying yes to other jobs, which is possible.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Well, that's why if you put a schedule out now, you would know that you wouldn't be available for that date. This is why scheduling stuff is always a great idea.
Did someone say schedules?
Just making a pitch to anybody that might happen to be listening that's involved with anything that we do over
But
here.
then when you put out the schedule, what happens is you
People ignore it and do
People-
whatever they want to
no, because people are just like, actually, I can't do that one.
Yeah,
I changed my mind.
that's why Josh Hodson sent out the initial one, like, hey, let me know your availability. So then when you get scheduled for it, you already said that you were available, that you can't retroactively say that you're
Yeah,
unavailable.
but then they
now.
get out of it anyway.
Yeah, that's the
You
thing.
know, we're too nice around here.
We are.
We're too Nebraska nice. All right, so I had a question for you guys earlier. This is Husker football question. This will not be a poll question, although you should vote on our poll question at Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. That question is, are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this week? So, and by the way, Sam writes in, he says, do you guys have touchdown jackrabbits on the drop board? I don't think so. Touchdown jackrabbits.
I'll search for it.
Is he taught? Do you think he's referencing? I don't know. I'm not sure what he's referencing there. Touchdown jackrabbits. Is that from the time that Nebraska played
South Dakota State like those 2 times?
in 2012? That was the Zach Zinner game, right?
Yep. 2010 was
Touchdown Seahawks. We have touchdown Seahawks.
2010 was the
Or
Tyler Reed game.
is he trying to make a joke about this year in how they're playing North Dakota, but they're not playing South Dakota State. They're playing North Dakota. It's possible. Touchdown Fighting
Hawks. Yeah. I was
Touchdown
going to say
fighting
the old one.
Not the old one. It's not that
the old
anymore.
one.
So please vote on our poll question at Happen Schaefer from the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Here's our next question to you. It is related to the first one. It is a Husker football question.
Ooh.
This season is not a success without what? This season is not a success without what? I will be unwilling to call the 2026 Nebraska football season a success if they don't include doing this thing. It could be a win. It could be a loss. It could be a specific win against a specific team, against a specific type of team. It could be a stat. It could be a amount of touchdowns. It could be whatever it could be a fairy dust, a whoozy whatsy. It could be anything. It could be if Matt Rule does something, some weird,
Fame.
Invisible, bar that he has to reach or something like that. What is it? Let us know. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, 402-951-1620. You can also text that number. This season is not a success without what, Mike Schaefer?
Okay. The first one I thought of when I went through this in my brain is that this season would not be a success unless Nebraska wins at least 4 conference games.
Oh, okay. At least 4
because that would
games.
give you the ones that people expect that they should win: the Michigan State, the Maryland, the Rutgers. So that's 3.
The Rutgers.
And then you have the other 6 of which you win one of those. You have to at least feel okay about the fact that Nebraska gets a win against Illinois, Iowa, Washington, or Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. So you get one of those wins plus the other 3 for me. And that, because they're not losing any of their non-conference games and they will win all of them by at least 17 points. Nebraska would have a 7-win season.
At least.
And potentially could be, as at least 4 could be a winning conference season.
So
I stopped
that,
just short of that. I can't get there.
Say the 4 again. I mean,
they win at least 4
at least
conference
4, any of
games,
them. So
which means 3 wins if you take the 3 worst of Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers. You get those 3. But then you would also have a win from the pot of
Illinois, Washington,
Iowa, Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana.
Yep. Just one out of those last
That
5.
is a small bar to clear.
It is a small bar to cross.
But
My
it's a
bar is higher.
success for me.
My bar is higher.
Okay, that's fair.
I think Nebraska has to win a top 25 game this year.
Okay. The reason I can't do that is I have no way of predicting of how things are going to be ranked.
Yeah.
And a team that they beat early in the year that ends up ranked in the top 25, they get no credit.
I know, but I'm just...
And a team that they lose to early in the year that doesn't finish in the top 25, they still get the besmirchment.
I'm just willing to roll the dice and say that it will line up for them.
Yeah. Well, those 6 teams they play, any of those 6 in conference could be top 25. All of those 6.
So that would be
top 25.
Indiana, Oregon, Washington, Ohio State, and Iowa. Am I missing one? Illinois is, people are very down on them this year.
I know. And I don't know that they necessarily should be. And that's a Friday night game. Nebraska won at Illinois last time it was a Friday night game.
Yeah.
They've won there a couple times on Friday night.
They have, weirdly.
They've been all strange circumstances.
They didn't win in week 0. That
AD Dave Remington. They went 1-0 in the Dave Remington era with a win against Illinois on a Friday night.
Yep. That was 2017.
Stilly with a bunch of sacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But they did not win in week 0 of 2021.
But that was a Saturday.
That was bad times. And, it was. It was a Saturday morning, wasn't it? It was an 11 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the season. Oh, no. Cam Taylor, Britt, where are you going?
BC and I were on that trip, and we're in the hotel the night before, and the Nebraska-Iowa 2019 game is on. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know.
They lose this game?
I don't feel good about it. Not that I thought they were going to lose to Illinois, but it's like all the I don't know how I feel about this coaching staff really bubbled to the surface.
Interesting.
With everything that happened in that 2019 game.
Yeah.
And then, of course, 2021 plays out, and that's where you get the same movie, same ending kind of thing. Seeing the movie, same ending.
Yeah.
So it set off that year to feel very much like it was.
Oh, it definitely did not get it off on the right foot. That's for sure. All right, here's some of your guys' thoughts. Doc says that me and Doc are handshake memeing. He says, that's easy. Beating a ranked team. Can't say the program is moving forward if they can't beat a top 25 team. I think this is the step that they need to take this year. I
have no pushback on it other than I can't guarantee that they will line up to face a top 25 team. Like if they only play the 3 top 10 teams and they go 0-3 in that regard, but they were to win games against Illinois and Washington,
I think that kind of satisfies the request, I suppose. But yes, I agree with you. Like, you can't exactly game it out to make it work 100% of the time. But I would just generally say, like, number one, they need to get the stupid monkey off their back. They need to get the top 25. There's a little monkey on their back that says, actually, it's a big monkey. He says, it just is holding up a sign at all times that says top 25 wins. They need to get that thing out, right? So that's I think, a thing. And then the other thing is, as you sort of explained before, they've kind of, not that it's a high bar, but you've been able to generally handle the teams that you are supposed to. You have not done as well in those kind of 50-50 games. And there's going to be some top 25 teams that are in your sort of 50-50 range, whether you like it or not. As I've always said, Nebraska's in this 15 to 45 category or whatever it is, that it's not that you could be a top 25 team depending on the moment, depending on the year. And I do think, you need to win one of those games to shock the system a little bit and to say, hey, look, we're capable of doing something that people didn't think that we could do. I always wonder about this. I always end up wondering about it out loud on a segment like this. When was the last time they did something in a positive manner that you didn't think that they were capable of doing, or they surprised you? I'm talking about a game result. And it's been a long time since any one game you've been pleasantly surprised with. They not just how they played, because there's been a lot of those. I mean, they played Ohio State close, whatever. Winning. You've been pleasantly surprised and won. I mean, it's been a very long time. So I just think that has to happen this year. It's time.
I don't even know if I have an answer for when that would be.
I mean, I have to go back and look at the spreads and stuff like that. It's
Michigan State 2015. Like, that's the last time I've been pleasantly surprised and they won. Like, I can't say I was pleasantly surprised they kicked Colorado's, ass in 2024. Yeah. But and they won, and that was a nice win, but I wasn't like surprised by it. Genuine surprise would have been 2015 Michigan State.
I was surprised that they were able to win that snow game against Michigan State in 2018.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's fair, because that had all the hallmarks of every way Nebraska normally was losing that year, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody said it's 2016 Oregon, but
I wasn't surprised.
I wasn't really surprised. I kind of thought they were going to win too.
Then They didn't beat Wisconsin. They didn't beat Ohio State that year. They didn't beat Tennessee. They didn't, nothing in 2017 was a pleasant surprise.
There's a lot of unpleasant surprises. Text from the 402. This season is not a success without a win against Iowa.
Oh, is 2022 Iowa the pleasant surprise and a win?
Yes, but that one is so weird because it's almost like it didn't even happen.
Is it bad if I consider that like a meaningless game?
It is. It's meaningless.
And it's like the one win they have, and it just means nothing.
It was a coaching staff who wasn't even here. It was fake. Yes.
And I have no doubt it means something to people that either were there or whatever else. But to me, it's just
it meant a lot to the people who are on the team.
It's easy to just buzz right by that.
Yeah, because these are the rivalry games at the end of the year, or they point to like, all right, which way is the program pointing? Is it up or down, or what is it? And that one, there was no effect because you were getting a new coaching staff 2 days later.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything. So that Iowa game is the measure, the barometer of success for many. And honestly, I don't disagree with you. I feel like I don't know if it's that hard lined. Like, this season can't be a success without a win against Iowa. But I get where you're going. That's for sure. Texter.
Yeah, I mean, if they go 8-4 and their losses are to Iowa and the top 10 teams, it's a success to me.
Texter from the 402 says they need to win a game where they are not favored by 5+ points. Okay, that's specific, but I like it.
I think because their record is so horrendously bad in that situation.
Somewhere they win, either they're favored in the Vegas zone or lower, or underdogs. I mean, I could look up that information.
Man, what if they won a tic-tac game? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. Like Maybe 1/8 of our listeners know what I'm talking about, but
What's a tic tac game?
it's the Bill Simmons cousin Sal when it's 1 point favored by a team, and it can go back either way throughout the week.
That's what he calls it.
Yeah, he calls it a tic tac game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
a Simmonsism that I wasn't familiar
It
with.
is definitely a Simmonsism that makes no sense whatsoever. But they've leaned in hard to
The
it.
Vegas zone is a Simmonsism.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's when it's just like, all right, we don't want you to win money on this game.
John writes in, he says, if Matt Rule doesn't walk away from the program in shame, freeing Nebraska to hire a competent coach, the season is not a success. Jeez. Damn.
Yeah, I don't see that one happen.
That's tough. I don't know. I don't think he will probably. I don't think he'll probably walk away in shame. All right, stay tuned. We're going to open up our magazine and take a spin here on my tiny little balls right here. So stay tuned for that. But not before we have a conversation with our dear friend Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. He'll join the show coming up next on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, we're not going to ruin the segment too much for our dear friend Michael Severe, who's I'm sure listening right now and really, really needs his recruiting fix from Tim Verghese from inside Nebraska. Tim, good morning. Happy Monday. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Okay, so where do we stand in the World Cup now? I mean, we're down to our final four, and are we still as locked in as we were like a week ago?
I am, at least. I know some people aren't, but I am.
I'm certainly
I'm so
not
excited for this last week. I'll be tuned in for everything. But yeah, no, I mean, I had some friends reach out this weekend and ask if I wanted to get together for games this week, and I said, well, every game is at 2 p.m. and I know you work in an office, and I don't work in an office, so I'll be able to watch these games at 2. But I don't know about you.
Is this what the kids are doing now? They're going out and they're watching soccer games together during the World Cup. I guess that's what I
did in 20.
I guess it's what I did in 2010 and 14, and so
I did in 2006, 2010, 2014, even 2018 when the U.S. wasn't in it.
Wow.
22 is when I think that was December, so I stopped. And I'm an adult at that point, I guess, with a child along the way or something. So I stopped. No, not at that point yet. So I just didn't go out.
We're happy to pass the torch down to the next generation
Tim
of people.
Tim is representing us going forward.
Nice. Excellent.
All our hopes and dreams.
There is also, as always, some recruiting things going on. It's funny, Tim, I was wondering about this myself over the last couple of days because somebody asked me some big picture question about the recruiting class. And I was like, I wonder if there's a couple guys who are maybe buried and aren't the headline makers for the class who, you're going to end up hearing about in a couple of years. You have a story up right now on Inside Nebraska about some sleepers of the 27 recruiting class. If I ask you that question, I phrase it that way. Some guys that we're going to know about in the next couple of years who you may not know about now from this 27 class. Where do we start?
Yeah, I think you start with Errol DeMontagnac. You want to start with the D-line class. I mean, Nehemiah Umbadi is the headliner of the class. He's a 4-star in the Rivals 300 rankings, but he's a 3-star in the overall consensus rankings. He's one who I think is going to have a chance to continue to move up the rankings as a senior. But the rest of that D-line class, Errol DeMontagnac was the one I noted as the sleeper for the class, in my opinion. He's 6'3", 290 pounds, and put together a junior season at that size where he recorded 87 tackles, 30 tackles for loss, and 14 sacks. That is eye-catching production in the backfield for a guy in that frame against some legit competition. He plays at Stepner Armwood down in Florida, plays some legit competition down there in the Sunshine State. The reason look, he has some big time offers. I mean, Indiana was in the mix, Michigan, Kansas State, but his recruitment really came down to Virginia, Nebraska, Florida State. Feels, a bit weird for a player of we talk about those numbers, we talk about that size. What happened? I think the issue with DeMontagnac is his film doesn't get uploaded to Huddle. His film gets uploaded to Quick Cut. And so for whatever reason, I don't know if that's the exact reason, but for whatever reason, it feels like this coming off of a junior season in which I thought he had a breakout year. He's been on some radars for some time, and I thought his junior season would have seen his recruitment really blow up. But obviously, he got some new offers. Nebraska into the mix, Indiana, Michigan into the mix. But this really came down to Nebraska, Virginia, Florida State. Nebraska pulled this off because of the relationship that Corey Brown built, and he's someone who I think is going to have a chance to play early. You watch his tape at that size. He's explosive. He's athletic. He can work across multiple positions. At Nebraska, he's likely best in that shade tech spot, but he shows the athleticism to work in at 3 tech. And I think what's most notable and most interesting about him at that size, that's 6'3", 290 pounds. He's got snaps as a junior rushing off the edge, even in the stand-up edge position, So he can do a couple different things. Jaden Travers, another one in this D-line class who I really like a lot. Versatile, reminds me a bit from a frame and athleticism standpoint of Malcolm Simpson. Production's not to the level of Errol DeMontagnac, but he plays more of a dirty work type role for a powerhouse program in St. Francis Academy out in Baltimore. One other one I would note, or two others I would note, is Barrett Cottrell, the in-state offensive lineman out of Ashland Greenwood. He was someone who this recruitment got very contentious late. Obviously, this came down to Nebraska and Iowa, but you saw this recruitment at times this spring. You saw Tennessee sniff around and extend an offer. You saw Ohio State sniff around and really evaluate him. And they were a program that would have pulled the trigger if it could have seen them leaving the region, could have seen them leaving the state. But I think Nebraska's done one. I think this is one of some of Chief Wade's best work in this cycle. I mean, he's put together a really good class, but this is a win I think gets a little overlooked when you talk about what Nebraska had to do to win this recruitment. The other part of this with Cottrell is you watch his tape. Athletic, violent, two things you can't really teach with offensive linemen. He plays with a high motor. This spring he started on the basketball court for Ashland Greenwood, and then he broke the school record in discus with a broken bone in his throwing wrist. He's grown a little bit, so he's gone from what was once a guard to guard projection. He could have played either guard spot or center. He's a true tackle to tackle projection now. He's someone, we talked about this offensive line class, Jordan Agmanoma, Timmy Aliu, KD Jones, guys like that at the very top of this class. Those guys are potentially seen as potential instant impact contributors. You can see those guys, specifically Jordan Agmanoma and Timmy Aliu, working into the offensive line rotation in year one. That's not the case with Cottrell. He stands 270 pounds now. He knows what the plan is for his first year with the program. He's going to need some time to add some weight and add some muscle to his frame. But there's no plan on him to be this big, bulky, hefty, deep offensive lineman. They plan to just get him up to around 290, 295 pounds, keep him around under that 300-pound range so he can maintain his athleticism. But he's someone I'm really optimistic of long-term. And then Eli Harris, the linebacker out of Loganville Grayson, teammate of Jordan Agmanoma and KD Jones. Again, someone who this recruitment was very overlooked for a lot of this spring. Stands around 6 foot, 210 pounds. A good athlete, versatile. You watch his tape, it reminds you a little bit of Vincent Schaefer's and just how he's consistently in the backfield. He punches up when he takes on blocks. He can hold his own from an athleticism standpoint and coverage, but that's still an area he's developing in. He has eye-catching backfield production. Again, a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of production in getting after the quarterback as well. Versatile player who I think has a little more range to his frame than Vincent Shavers, and someone this staff sees playing a will linebacker and someone who you get around him, you talk to him a little bit. He loves to hit, loves football, and loves the violence, the violence of the sport. And he's somebody who I think has a real chance to work in, just like Shavers did, potentially even work his way up that linebacker rotation early on in his career.
Tim, is it something or nothing that Nebraska doesn't have a commitment from the state of Texas? I think it's the state where they offered the most players. Obviously, when Matt Rule got here, he had a lot of connections down there. They've run camps in Texas. They have, or not run camps, but they've participated in camps. They have all of those, sort of connections in that state. Does it mean anything to you that there's not a commitment coming out of Texas? Should it mean anything?
No, I mean, they continue to stay active in there. Can I interrupt real quick with some developing breaking news?
Absolutely.
Trey Taylor, officially a 5-star in the Rivals 300 ranking.
Wow.
Look at that.
Number 17 player in the country and number 2 quarterback in the country officially.
Rivals join the club. Now all that's left is there still a system out there that doesn't have him as a 5-star at this point?
Who knows what ESPN's doing at any point in time?
He won in ESPN, so still some work there.
They'll join.
Hundreds at ESPN. There's still some work to do there.
When they remember that they have a recruiting arm of their entire thing somewhere around the signing day, they'll probably get a ball.
Possibly. All right. So he's basically a consensus 5-star for all intents and purposes now. Not bad.
Correct. Should be once we get the consensus rankings updated after this rankings update goes live.
Okay.
Great news. Anyway,
back to Texas. What's going on in Texas?
Yeah, so I would say in this cycle specifically, I don't think it's nothing. I also don't necessarily know if it's something either. I mean, you look ahead to 2028, I think Jamar Mosley has some relationships. They've established themselves down there. I think part of the issue for them in this cycle with Texas has been the growing competition down there. You have, obviously, Texas Tech, who's basically going out and claiming whoever they want in the state. Texas and Texas A&M are fighting for top talent. You have LSU dipping into the state, pulling top talent. You have Houston, who's working to build a fence around their city and keep some of those guys home. SMU is pulling off some big wins down there. The state of Texas is as competitive as it's ever been in the recruiting scene. At least in my opinion, at least since I've been here, and I've been around. I mean, I've not seen it this competitive. You used to see the Texas and Texas A&M battles. You used to see the Texas and Oklahoma battles. But now you have the in-state schools with some money to throw around. You have more programs out of state that are coming in and trying to pull some of this top talent away. You have Notre Dame that I think has established a pretty consistent presence there. You have multiple programs here that can do that. So that said, in 28, I think Nebraska's done a good job of getting out ahead early with some of these guys. But even, I mean, we're working through these rankings. Nebraska was the first to offer Sean Simon and who's the other? Peyton Smith, two blue chip prospects in the 28 cycle out of LaPorte, Texas. They were one of the first, if not the first offer for both of those guys. You talk to both of them, neither one of them, this offer went out, a year ago, if not over a year and a half ago at this point. Neither one of those guys have yet to make it to Lincoln. And at this point, it's hard to see both of them leaving the state. That's just the state of affairs right now when you're trying to recruit the state of Texas. It's not easy, even if you are early on guys.
Well, Tim, I'm amazed at your knowledge of all these things. And now I'm amazed at your ability to both write this story and talk with us on the radio at the same time. If you go to Inside Nebraska right now, you could look at Tim's story about Trey Taylor earning that 5th star in the Rivals 300. So he went up right at the top of the story here. He went up over 50 spots in the rankings. It feels like if you're not on board with knowing about Trey Taylor as being the best or one of the best quarterbacks in the 27 class, you're probably, late on the train, at least at this point, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And to be quite honest, we were the lowest on him up until this rankings update. Rivals we had him 71, but we did have him as a top 5 quarterback in the country. We've had him in that top 5 range. That Elite 11 performance was something that everyone wanted to see. They wanted to see him again at the opening finals. I think he's checked all the boxes that everyone was looking for between his junior season, between what he put up on tape or put up on the camp circuit here this offseason, and his work on the 7-on-7 circuit and his frame development. I think that's the big thing. I mean, that was a big question with him when he committed to Nebraska. What would the frame look like? And you talk to anybody who's been around him over this last year, especially over these last few months, the frame is much better than most people expected this time last year.
Yeah, he's filled out. That's for sure. All right, Tim, I appreciate you as always. Have fun watching the rest of the World Cup this week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Of course, appreciate you guys.
Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. He's got the story up. My bad. My bad. I hit the wrong button. I'm getting used to all this.
Hey,
the phone used to be
I
on
did
my
that one.
The phone used to be on my left, and now it's on my right.
Yeah, I once dropped my mic thinking it was the caller.
You did.
Yeah,
you did. That's my bad.
Famously did.
My bad. So Tim's all over it, and our dear boy Trey Taylor, the Millard South quarterback.
Yeah, look at that. 5-star Nebraska.
A 5-star by another ratings system. Number 17 in the country and number 2 in the quarterback world, behind Oregon quarterback commit Will Menzel.
Oh, okay. Not
number 1.
Not Israel Abrams or whatever.
No,
Okay.
We're number 2 in this case from Trey Taylor. When we come back, we will pop open the Phil Steele magazine and preview another couple of college football teams featuring our tiny little balls right after this on 1620 The Zone. College football is right around the corner. We're in the, we might be in the 40s for when college football actually starts. There is a week 0 game this year, right?
Yeah, there's a handful of games. There was the Brazil game that got moved back to the States. There's also the Ireland game between TCU and North Carolina.
Disaster. We have
Stanford plays Hawaii, I think.
Oh yeah, they're hosting them at like a 6:30 game or something on the ACC network.
So that it's North Carolina and TCU and at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland this year. So that is what, August 29th?
Something like
yes,
something
August
like
29th. How many days until August 29?
Let me ask
47.
Wow.
Says Al.
Just
47.
under 7 weeks.
All right. So in honor of there being only 47 days until the Ireland game, we will flip our way through the Field Steel magazine, the only way we know how, by shuffling my tiny little balls and then multiplying it a couple times. How many balls do you want today? 3 or 4?
3.
3-ball day. It's a 3-ball day. And we have reached the end. All right. The first 3 balls are 23, 46, and 32.
So 101.
101.
Wow, good job.
And then we'll do 202 and 303.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
So page 202, or are we starting on 101?
We do them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 101, we are looking at, I cannot get there fast enough.
I believe in you.
We are looking at the USC Trojans
Whoa!
of the Big Ten. This is an exciting team that some people think could be college football playoff bound.
Some people don't think
And
a lot of
some
Jane
people
Mayava.
think Lincoln Riley is getting thrown in the trash at the end of the year.
Like it's brisket.
Whoa.
Congratulations to Lincoln Riley's brisket.
You get a prize.
Jane Mayava is back. USC is almost certainly going to start 4-0. They play Oregon on Saturday, September 26th at the Coliseum.
So I think I've zeroed in on something that has to do with this year and not Phil Steele's love of his predictions of the last 7 years. So this year, Riley feels like they have a shot as he brought in the top recruiting class to blend with a ton of returning talent. USC does play Indiana on the road and has to face Oregon and Ohio State at home, but they are capable of playing with all of them and are a Big Ten and playoff contender.
Who'd they get at running back? Didn't they have a couple young guys last year?
Yeah, because Woody Marks was in the NFL last year. Woody Marks was really good.
Woody Marks was awesome.
Their 2025 running back statistical leader.
But don't they have the 2026 projected running back?
Yeah, his 2026 projected running back is Jordan Waymond.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Jordan.
I remember
Waymond.
Jordan Waymond.
Last year he ran for 581 yards, 5 touchdowns on 88 carries, so 6.5 average, pretty good.
So Oregon, Washington, and Penn State back-to-back weeks, September 26, October 3rd, and October 10. They go on the road in that third one out across the country to Penn State. Just a huge stretch for USC. They also play Indiana. They also play Ohio State. They also have to have a trip to Wisconsin.
Your boys.
This is a difficult schedule.
Yeah, no, this is not an easy schedule. And so they might be loaded up talent-wise, but they have to prove that they can win in some of these games in ways that they haven't. I mean, they weren't really close against Notre Dame last year, and that was one of their sort of prove-it games. They struggled. So they went 9-4 a year ago. I'm trying to think of what last year's schedule was.
9.
They lost to
Oregon. They lost to Notre Dame. They lost to Illinois. They lost to TCU in the bowl game.
Yeah, and they struggled with Iowa at the time. Trying to think of their other. I mean, Illinois. That Illinois game is one that they really should not have lost.
No, they should not have.
And Illinois was solid last year. USC was better
because I remember actually wagering on that game.
Oh,
all right,
look at that.
Let's go to 202, Mike Schaefer. 202.
So we are now venturing
What
into
conference are we going into? Who knows?
What looks like the end of the Big 12. Could it be the last place team in the Big 12?
Oh, is it?
Uh-oh.
It might be. And that would be Jimmy Rogers' Iowa State Cyclones.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
So they
This
have
team lost everyone in the transfer.
No,
portal.
literally everyone. Literally everyone.
And it could be rough for Jimmy Rogers. Things have been good for Iowa State. They went 8-4 a year before under Matt Campbell, who left to go to Penn State.
God, there's just no way where this team's good, right? I mean, I just don't know. Probably there's too much to be, gleaned off of the idea that they lost everybody because they could replace it in the portal or whatever it is. There's just no way. There's just no way. Like, this team is at best like 4-8, right?
Yeah. Phil Steele says, Rogers did surprise me last year at Washington State, especially with his defense, but this may be a tougher task as Washington State faced just 3 Power 4 foes in 2025. There is more of a Cyclones 8-4 team in Happy Valley than there is in Ames this year, and I will call this a rebuilding year for the Cyclones. Their schedule, Southeast Missouri at Iowa, Bowling Green, crossover with Nebraska a little bit there. Now they get in their Big 12 play. Utah at home, West Virginia at home, BYU on the road. They have a bye week. Then at Arizona, Oklahoma State, at Baylor, Cincinnati, at UCF, Kansas State. They avoid Texas Tech.
Yeah, they didn't get a bad
they avoid
draw.
Houston.
They didn't get a bad draw in the Big 12.
I just don't think
Utah,
they can beat
BYU,
some of these. Like Oklahoma State also has a new coach, but their new coach brought all of his best players from North Texas.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a really rough year in Ames.
I don't see it. All right, 303 before we get out of here.
Okay.
What conference are we going to now? 303.
Okay. Looks like we might be in the MAC.
Oh, let's go.
Yes. Just at the very tail end of the Sun Belt. Looks like Arkansas State lines up for page 303. Arkansas State here. The defense is more experienced, and Butch Jones always feels a top-notch special teams. Parentheses, sign of a good coach. And Arkansas State is a legitimate contender in the SBC West with the D-line and the quarterback, the biggest questions that have to be solved.
Who else is a contender in the Sun Belt West?
Everyone that's in the Sun Belt West gets to be a contender.
Okay, that's nice. Who is in the Sun Belt West?
Would be Troy. I think they're on the western portion of it. I think Louisiana Tech is part of it. I don't know if Georgia State is. I think they're in the East.
Let's go find out.
I would think they'd be in the East.
The Sun Belt West is Arkansas State, Louisiana Tech, South Alabama, Southern Miss, Troy, and UL Monroe.
Yeah. So he has them in the middle of the West division of the Sun Belt.
Yeah, right, buddy. I think they're going to win it. They're winning the division this year.
All right. Their big
We're
games are at
division.
Louisiana. They're home against Troy to finish the season.
Huge game.
Those are their opportunities. Butch Jones. Everybody remembers Butch Jones. They gave him a guitar with Mike Riley at the Music City Bowl.
Parentheses, sign of a good coach. Thank
Special
you, Phil
teams.
Steele. Appreciate it. All right. That is our college football preview today. Hopefully, every day you feel more and more excited and ready to go for college football coming up this year. When we come back, it'll be the 9 o'clock hour. We'll talk to Michael Bruns here in about 15 or 20 minutes. We have some other college football stories and a college basketball story actually to cover as well. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, Big Clock is telling me that it's just shy of 9 o'clock here on a Monday. Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you. Feel free. In fact, actually, no, don't feel free. Feel obligated to vote on our poll question at Happen Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Once again, are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win in football against Indiana this year? So far, almost 400 responses in, and 64% are saying no.
They're not signing the contract.
You're saying the contract. It's just like, could you think about this for me? Could you please think about it?
No,
I will not think about it. I won't even consider it.
you're an idiot.
Yeah, thank you, John Fanta.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. So please vote if you'd like to shift it in the other direction or if you'd like to push it further in the no direction.
Just vote.
Just vote. Saw this on Friday. One thing we enjoy, I enjoy from time to time is a good open records request. Might have to amend that. I don't know if I enjoy this open records request. Here is from the Omaha World Herald. According to open records obtained by the World Herald, in recent months, 3 Group of 5 and FCS teams, Georgia State, Eastern Illinois, and Murray State, have reached out to Nebraska about a potential game in Lincoln during the 2029 season. Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
I had not. No, this is all new for me.
No, I haven't seen that.
There you go. Well, I'm glad the open records request told us.
Which week of the season is this?
I have no idea. I don't know what's open for them in 2028 or 2020 or 2029 or 2030, I guess was what we're looking at. Schedules are locked up through next year. They have open dates to schedule for 29 and beyond. And apparently Georgia State, Eastern Illinois, and Murray State are interested.
Okay, so did you
I think we
know,
need to stop doing open records requests.
Did you know Nebraska has a game on the schedule for 2029 already?
Really?
It has
Who
a
is
date on September 15th. Nebraska
Oklahoma?
will be at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
There you go.
Joey already knew this. Joey's locked in.
Yeah,
This
I was
is-
ready to help.
I am surprised by this because how has that game not been canceled yet?
Well, Scott Frost is coaching at UCF now.
No. The new way of canceling games.
Yeah. The current wave canceled Tennessee,
Yeah.
which is replaced by Bowling Green
That's right.
and
Sure.
Miami University of next
We
year.
don't play hard teams anymore.
I don't know. I don't know if that one's going to get canceled.
Really?
Did the Arizona games get canceled already?
No, they're
No,
they're
the
not
Arizona
canceled.
games are still on there, I think.
The home game is in 2 years, and Oklahoma's kind of in the middle.
And then there's an
Okay,
Oklahoma
there it
State
is.
series, right?
2034, 2035.
Should
So
we set a line as for a date and when these games might get canceled?
I'm going to say they'll play the Oklahoma ones.
Wow.
They'll never schedule them again, but they'll play those Oklahoma.
So 30 and
ones.
31, or is it 29 and 30?
It's 29 and
30.
30. And then there's a game set for 32 already.
That's Cincinnati.
Yep.
The
they
return
got,
game.
They got pushed back.
Look at Joey. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
You
well,
sick,
20,
disgusting.
2033, there's nothing in there. So there's your opportunity if you want
There's
to put a
nothing for
hard team.
2031 either.
So there's nothing for what years? 31 and 33? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
according to their website, they have September 7th in 2030. Sounds so weird to say. 2030, September 7th, the Saturday, they will play South Dakota State at Memorial Stadium.
Wonderful.
And then on Saturday, the 14th, Oklahoma returns to Nebraska for the first time since Mickey Joseph made his debut
Since
as
Gus
Nebraska's head
Gus
coach.
Johnson got sick.
That's right. Gus, we nearly lost him that day. Or maybe he just got sick of calling
And-
another horrible
One of
Nebraska
my-
game. I don't know.
One of my all-time favorite oddly specific prediction hits ever occurred in that game against Oklahoma. And I think I had that Nebraska would score on its opening drive, and they went down and they scored
They
with
did.
Casey Thompson
It's like
right away.
this is the Mickey Joseph era.
Right, and then they never. It felt like they never scored again in the rest
No,
of that
they
game.
didn't score at all. I think.
Well, didn't they score 14 in that game?
Oh wait, yeah, they might have had a last
I think it
second
was
Chris Paul touchdown.
48,
Let's see what the-
14.
it's 49-14.
49-14.
So I think did they lead 7-0?
I thought they did. I
We
thought they
are
were up
so
7-0.
back.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna beat
just-
Oklahoma.
I said that they would take basically on their first possession, they would score a touchdown. They had a 6-play, 77-yard drive.
Yeah.
Featured an 11-yard pass to Alante Brown. That's so great. A 16-yard
Still
pass
playing
to
college
Trey
football,
Palmer.
I think. Alante Brown.
It could be 11-yard run for Anthony Grant, a 9-yard pass to Trey Palmer, a 3-yard run for Anthony Grant, a 5-yard penalty, and then a 32-yard touchdown pass to Trey Palmer.
Oh, yeah.
He must have woke up
Pissed
mad.
off. He was in town this weekend doing camp. Tim Verghese was there.
Oh, okay.
He was doing the Keith Williams camp, which Keith Williams still does the camp. Remember
Look
Keith
at that.
Williams?
Yeah, whiteouts.
Yes.
With the gorillas and the backpack.
Absolutely, yeah.
The grillers, I guess.
The Grillers. Yeah.
Yeah, Keith Williams is a good guy.
Yeah.
Alante Brown is on Memphis right now.
I told you. I knew.
Just-
I told you. You're still
just
playing
look on the
college football.
roster.
So future schedules, they're there. There are openings there for 29 and beyond. Nebraska only has 2 games scheduled for 29 at this point, Oklahoma and then Nevada. So they have an opening that year.
After that opening touchdown, Nebraska would have 6 more possessions in the first half, 5 of which were punts, and
Dear
one was an
God.
11-play
Terrible.
downs.
What a disaster of a
They're
season.
terrible.
That season was so stupid.
I would like to say Nebraska is
beat
further
Iowa.
removed from it than they actually are, both in years and play, but I don't know that they
Hey,
are.
at least they beat Iowa that year. Out of all the seasons,
That was the season that, I would be able to recall what specific things that happen in specific games, probably over a running period of 10 years. That was the season where it all went away for me.
Really?
Because everything that's happened from then and then after just feels like it's mattered less. I don't know what it was about 2021 to 2 that just completely, I don't know, it sucked out the enthusiasm for everything. Probably the whole lame duck coach going into 2022, disaster ensuing, all of that different
I'm trying to think what if there's a period like that for me. I mean, some of it with the job that I had previously and the way my brain works, I have a pretty strong memory of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But 22 was not a particularly fun fan experience. Nor was really 2021, even with all the close losses.
awful.
The greatest
2021 was at
3-9
least,
team.
2021 was at least exciting,
It was entertaining.
they could have beaten anybody.
Sure.
They almost did.
I mean, they
everyone.
literally
The best
proved that they
3-9
could have
team.
beaten anyone, and then
Yeah.
also that they really weren't going to win.
the greatest 3-9 team of all time.
People
True.
say that to make fun of them, but it's true. They were
I would take them up against any other 3-9 team that's ever existed in
100%
college
without
football.
a question.
Yeah.
Without a question. Just got this from the Big Ten Conference. Are you ready for this?
Of course.
All right. This is the Big Ten speaking. The Big Ten Conference has named David Bassity as Senior Vice President of Communications effective next Monday. Basically, he is. So here's what it says. In his role, Bassity will lead the conference's communications strategy and media relations efforts, helping shape and elevate the Big Ten's narrative to effectively tell the stories of its institutions, student athletes, coaches, stakeholders during a transformative era for college athletics. They hired David Bassity to help with messaging.
Strategic storytelling.
Strategic. What does that mean? Just tell the story. And narratives. I love the word the narrative is actually included in this press release. It's going to help shape the Big Ten's narrative. How about just do things?
At some point, do we need to remind the Big Ten that they are an athletics conference attached to
That would be an
collegiate
incredible reminder.
institutions?
Yeah, we should. We should
It
send them a
wasn't-
note.
One of their last press release hires, a former Wisconsin AD, was for strategic planning or
That's right.
something.
Yeah.
It feels like a bunch of people that make a bunch of money for a conference that sort of can operate on its own without them, and largely does.
What does the conference do?
Runs a horrible network,
Runs a horrible.
employs bad officials.
Right. Well, you just need to be the center command hub of all the schools, I suppose. Other than that, I mean, branding and marketing and narrative
I want to know
shifting.
what David Bassity's day to day is in April.
Nothing. Not care about baseball.
I'm going to go play golf with some network executives and give her narrative-driven storytelling ideas that we have for the summer.
And then they talk about how the college athletic, it's a really tough time for all of our institutions right now. They're going to find a way to really buckle down, and they're hiring all sorts of different things for the conference and things like that. Nice job, Big Ten, as always. Anyway, open records requests, let's put those on hold. That's my current word of advice. That's
you don't want to know more about scheduling?
I just just don't know what we're looking for there.
What if Matt Brown finds out more teams that don't want to play Miami of Ohio? Would you not be interested?
No, not particularly. Now, I will say there are certain things that are revealed in open records requests that I am interested in.
What if someone does some Ward Manual open records requests?
I would be more interested in that.
Okay.
I would see some text messages.
The car crash aspect of it is.
I'd like to see some text messages and some emails and things like that. But if the thing to be gleaned out of it is, it seems like there's a couple FCS and Group of 5 teams that might be interested in playing Nebraska in 3 years. I don't need to see that.
You're not surprised that teams are willing to be paid to come play Nebraska?
I am most certainly not.
Wow.
I am most certainly not.
Okay.
All right. We will take a break and we'll talk to Michael Bruntz on the other side. We'll talk about what Nebraska baseball did in the MLB draft. What's that, Rob Manfred?
With the first pick of the 2026 MLB draft, the Chicago White Sox select Rock Chalewski, a shortstop from UCLA.
What? I don't know what bro is talking about. But Bruntz will join us. We'll talk about some Husker baseball guys and probably some football as well when we come back on Happer and Schaefer on a Monday on 1620 The Zone.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. I said the Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. Bronx is back in town.
Michael Brooks, Husker 24/7 on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
And we are joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend, fresh and ready to go for football season and talking season, Michael Brooks from Husker 24/7. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
How are you today?
Not bad. What's going on?
What have you been up to the last couple of weeks while you've been, I assume, missing us, first of all, but then what else?
Well, that, yes. First and foremost, that. Nothing. I've done nothing. I just took a little break from the normal radio schedule.
That sounds awesome.
Continue to work. So, yeah, nothing. I didn't go anywhere. Didn't really do anything.
That's great. Even if it's just an extra 15 minutes a day, it really does make a difference. Schaefer and I, one day we skipped out on the crossover or left it early or something like that. And we marveled when we got home. We were like, oh my God, this is like a complete day changer. I have 20 more minutes.
The show had to run up to 9:54 or whatever. And so we just didn't have a crossover. And we were basically home by 10:15. It's a total game changer.
Wow, yeah, it was like the summer of Happer and Schaefer right there.
Just in one day.
I think I went grocery shopping and mowed a lawn before noon. It was incredible.
What am I going to do with all this time? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that was basically the thought was I have to fill enough of my own time. I'm going to take a break from filling other time.
Good job by you. Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Ready to fill time now, though.
Perfect. I have more time-filling questions for you. Have you been seeing, speaking of Summer of George, have you been seeing all of the ways that they've been changing George Costanza's look on social media? Have you seen this trend that they've been doing?
I saw one that popped up that made its way into my thread.
The bald with the beard one?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked all right.
They keep changing him into different things now. They keep putting different hairstyles on him, and he always looks better than what he did in the actual show in the 90s, which that makes sense.
Did you?
It's also scary to think too. Like, I am older than George Costanza was in that show, and he always seems so. I don't know. Like that stuff always gets me.
I know.
Yeah, I thought the bald head and kind of, unkempt beard looked all right.
Did you say you saw it on Threads?
No, made it into my feed. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not.
I didn't know if you were a real life person that used Threads.
No, my bot's on there. So yeah,
I do have the Mike J. Schaefer for Threads, but only so no one else can have it. But I have not used it since I created it. Just wanted to clarify there. All right, bro. So Nebraska baseball, 2 guys taken in the draft, in Carson Yassa and Ty Horn. Were there anybody do they have anybody committed that they are in danger of potentially losing? Otherwise it feels like for next year, they kind of have a lot of what they were planning on. There's no big surprises, or so it seems to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, Zach Bates, who was at Illinois and is planning to transfer to Nebraska. He was the very last pick in the draft. The Dodgers picked him in the 20th round, last pick. And there's a little bit of danger there, I think, with him, but potentially signing. I mean, if a player is picked late like that, especially in that spot, I mean, there's at least I think an open-mindedness towards potentially signing.
Right.
He's coming off of Tommy John surgery. It pitched in the junior college level before he went to Illinois, and so I could see where maybe that's something given his background that you maybe consider there. But no, I mean I think aside from the Dylan Carey stuff, which we can talk about that if you want.
I would love to.
But beyond that. Nebraska, I think for the most part, made it through pretty much unscathed. I mean, they were planning on life without Yasa and Horn, so that was very expected from Nebraska's end. There were a few incoming pitchers that I think that they were sweating a little bit. Cohen Nelson, the pitcher out of Grand Island who pitched in junior college, he went undrafted. I mean, I think he's a potential weekend starter for Nebraska. He'll make it to campus. Shaw, first name Zane Shaw, I think is his name, out of Kansas, was a high school pitcher, upper 90s fastball that a lot of teams really liked, but I think his number was pretty high. So he's headed to Nebraska. Actually, Nebraska's freshman moved in this weekend, so things are already rolling there. And then, the big one was Jayshon Unger. What was going to happen with him, given the summer that he's had. I think him coming back, I think he was very motivated to come back to Nebraska. I think you'll see him in more of a starting role next year versus the closing role that he was in this year. And I think he's an extremely high ceiling pitcher that, is probably going to be much better off than what he would have been this year in terms of draftability. So, it really could not have gone much better for Nebraska in terms of, what next year's roster looks like and guys potentially being picked and not coming to Lincoln.
Yeah, I was definitely curious about Unger too. So I think they may have dodged a bullet on that one. And then you mentioned it. Is there any, as Bob Diaco would say, is there any reasonable reason why Dylan Carey would not get drafted? Because I really, that one is a head scratcher to me.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of strain for sure. I think, that one was, got text yesterday that, the head scratcher of all head scratchers was one that I got. And, I understand, that there were maybe some metrics that didn't work in his favor, with swing and miss stuff and whatever. But
he didn't strike out that much. I mean,
he didn't. And, one of the things I thought was, maybe age, but I mean, he turns 23 in a couple of days. I mean, he's not that old. Sears went a couple of years ago, and I think he was a year older than Dylan is. And I think that was kind of what I had in mind for what, his draft for Dylan would look like is, a guy that had a really great senior season, perfect senior sign guy, talented, experienced. You're probably going to get him at a bit of a discount just because the leverage isn't there from the player's perspective and signing. So, yeah, that was a huge surprise. And, for whatever reason, I mean, even if the metrics are what they are, still hit for average. The power was there this year. The glove plays. I think that's a thing, on the left side of the infield, if you've got somebody there that can hit for some power, why not? I mean, I think he's going to get an opportunity as a free agent somewhere. Whichever team decides that they're going to sign him is going to get a very motivated, very, once again, kind of pissed off Dylan Carey. I mean, that was kind of what fueled him through last season, I think, was last year's draft flight. But yeah, I don't have a good answer there. I haven't gotten a good answer from anybody. And I was really surprised, especially given some of the other shortstops and third basemen that were selected from Big Ten schools. Like that's the thing that kind of floored me a little bit was, I would have taken Dylan Carey over a lot of those guys that went in the later round. So it was definitely, a mystery to me.
Over everyone except Rock Chalewski.
Yeah, basically.
What's your enthusiasm to see Mason Edwards join the athletics pitching organization that they have going on over there?
Here, let me give you this theory, Mike, and I think you can tell me if I'm wrong. So, do you think that the A's scouting department saw a left-handed USC pitcher with a plus curveball, and they're like, we've got a chance here to draft Barry.
It's Zito. Barry Zito again.
it's Barry Zito 2.0 with a better fastball. Like I think that's probably where the scouting stopped with him. Was like, we've got Zito, we're taking him, and I'm eager to see what that looks like. He was really good this year, and I think I saw USC was 15-2. In games that he started, and one of those two was the game in Lincoln that Nebraska got him.
The other one was North Carolina, wasn't it? No, they ended up winning that game. I think they They won the first one, or they win the second one? I don't remember now.
USC, they won the first in the Super.
And then they lost the remaining two.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was probably as deep as the scouting went. Was we got a chance to get Barry Zito here again, so we're going to do that. But I'm very excited.
Love it. Okay, then what was the football one?
Okay, yeah. So tomorrow, Happer and I are going to put confidence points for every game on Nebraska's schedule. I'm not going to make you do that with absolutely no preparation, but what I do want to know is, eliminating the non-conference games, what is the conference game you would put the highest percentage on that Nebraska will win in 2026? I mean, there's the three sort of obvious ones that sit out there relative to the rest of the schedule, so I'm assuming you're going out of that.
Yeah, I'm going Maryland at home.
Okay.
I'm assuming that one was in that pool. Does that pool also include Michigan State on the road, Rutgers on the road?
Yeah, that's the pool. You have correctly identified the pool.
Okay. I would say Maryland at home. That's where I would go with the highest confidence points.
Okay.
And that's even a tough one though, because I think Maryland's at least got some dudes.
I don't think I would have that as mine, but I respect you for doing it.
Yeah, you're gonna go off the range there.
I gotta go back to the lab and run some numbers, see where we're at with the confidence.
Well, we both agreed earlier, Brunts, that there are 9 losable games.
Yeah,
there are 9 games that you theoretically could lose, and that's every single conference game.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's 4 that you would feel reasonably good about predicting, probably. That's including the non-cons. 3 that are pretty tough, and then again, as we do every year, a very large pool of coin flip games that Nebraska's got to find a way to win. Is that a pretty simple breakdown?
Happer says there's 11 winnable games. Would you push back against that, with Oregon on the road as the non-winnable
11 games you could win.
Theory being could, or not theory, but the important thing here is could.
You could. Sure, you could.
There's a lot of pushback on the word could,
right,
bro.
let me ask him my poll question. Let me ask him the poll question then. All right, the poll question. Well, I don't know if you've seen this. It's very popular. It's going very viral.
Please
right
retweet.
Now. Are you willing to entertain the possibility that Nebraska could win against Indiana this year?
I am more willing to entertain that versus some of the other home games that are on Nebraska's schedule.
Oh, really? Like Ohio State?
Like Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah. I would. Of that group, I would probably I would go along with you on that.
I agree with you. That seems more likely than Ohio State to me, but I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure why. Maybe just the talent thing later in the season, that whole thing. I don't know, but yeah, I think so. All right, we're all willing to entertain it.
Lockstep with this, I think.
That's good. All right.
Yeah. Is it if you knew more about Indiana's quarterback situation, would you be less willing to entertain it? Is that where the?
No, it's not really about that. They're they don't seem as airtight. Obviously, they're awesome and they get the most out of it every year, and they have the best coach in the country. But from a talent perspective, it doesn't feel like you're running into a brick wall. Like when you're playing Ohio State, you feel like you're running into a brick wall.
I think it's timing
and they
for
would
me
have
as
to,
much as anything.
And they would have to play poorly in order for Nebraska to have a chance, right? I don't feel exactly that way with Indiana, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I get it. Sigs doesn't have him buttoned up this year. Just say it.
We'll see. We'll see if he has him there by week 5 or whatever it is. All right, Brunts. Thanks as always. Appreciate you joining. Have a good rest of your week.
You too, guys. Take care.
Michael Brunts. I did it again.
You're the member of a 2-time club.
I'm gonna have to.
I only did it once.
I'm gonna have to move the phone over there.
You're just gonna train your hand to be over here.
That's right. I'm going to have to figure it out. That's what I'm going to have to do.
Use your right hand, Connor, not the left.
But it's so far. I have to reach.
Could you put a sticky note underneath your camera that says "Don't drop"?
Hold on. Maybe I can do this. Aha! Now that would have helped.
Whoa! Moving it closer to you—that's a great idea.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that. I don't know what that's in reference to.
I don't either.
Anyway, I'm sure Brooke's excited to get the new Barry Zito, and then they also got they were also gifted Drew Burress in the first round, who is, I mean, drawing comps to the LSU guy from a couple of years ago. What was
Dylan Cruz?
Yeah, Cruz,
who's not having the best Major League Baseball career thus far.
Yeah,
very early, but a little more concerning than you might have guessed.
Cholowski is kind of that way too, by the way. I mean, I don't think Cholowski's airtight, like going to be a superstar.
No,
I think he's got a pretty high floor. But
the most airtight guy in this entire draft that I would just bet on, without question, don't even have to think about it. He's going to be in the majors probably as early as maybe not next year.
Give it to me.
Maybe next year. It's Jackson Flora,
the kid from Santa Barbara.
Even though there is no such thing as a pitching prospect, yada yada yada, that guy is not going to spend a lot of time in the minors. He's going to be up pitching for the Giants, and he's going to be good.
Yeah,
his floor is being a medium arm in your rotation, like your third, fourth guy. He's going to eat innings. And obviously with a pitcher, there's always the injury risk. But
the problem with him is he also went to the Giants, who are famous for doing
but
this.
It's pitching, so they're good with that.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said the problem with him.
Oh, well, I guess I meant that in a joking way. Like
okay.
he's going to be good because he's good, and the organization he went into makes people
now
good.
If he was a left-handed hitting outfielder, I would not bet on him with the Giants, because famously that's not what they can do.
I'm more excited for the Royals competitive balance pick than I was their 6th overall pick.
Zion?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's fine. I'm sure he'll be fine. Seems like an unnecessary risk, but whatever.
I was looking through Cleveland's deeper picks. They took a guy committed to the University of Oklahoma. I needed no more information. He's a pitcher. He's already 6'8", already has massive raw stuff. I'm convinced they won't be able to sign him away from Oklahoma, but if they do, that's probably their best pick.
Speaking of Oklahoma guys, the Royals got Camden Johnson late, like in the 9th round, who I thought had a much higher draft prospectus than that, but they got him there. They got a bunch of College World Series guy, Maxiell, who pitched for West Virginia. They got him in the 3rd. They got Vigu from Georgia in the 7th. So there you go. There's some College World Series guy, a lot of older guys who the Royals went after. And then, of course, their competitive balance pick was Taylor Rabe, who pitched in the College World Series as well. There was another College World Series guy that I was going to highlight here.
Cameron Flukie ended up with the Detroit Tigers.
I know. I like Cam Flukie, too.
I kind of was hoping Cleveland would take him instead of Liam Peterson, who you watched at the College World Series in the past. I'm sure they'll be fine with a guy who throws really hard.
Oh, here's the other thing I was going to say. Cam Kojal. Congrats to Cam Kojal, a 3rd-round pick of the Miami Marlins this year, 87th overall. Of course, played his high school ball at Millard South. There was a couple local guys who ended up getting drafted, and there's a few of them. I'll have to get them all, but we'll do that when we come back. We'll round things out. There's one more story that I would like to get to. This time it's out of college basketball. A surprise that could mean something to one of our local teams. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. The other couple Nebraskans drafted Bellevue West grad, former Nebraska pitcher momentarily, and then Kentucky ace Jackson Jelkin went in the 4th round to the Philadelphia Phillies. So congratulations to him. And then Central Nebraskan Tyler Fay, I think went in the 6th round. Maybe it was a little bit later than that. I just had it up. But anyway, congratulations to the local folks who were drafted this year. And once again, still really weird that Dylan Carey didn't get drafted. I don't really know what to make of that. Doesn't make much sense to me. Over the weekend, saw this. This is the thing that affects the local basketball team. The local team that it affects is Creighton. So last year, Creighton went up there and played Gonzaga, and they had this kind of young, budding phenom by the name of Mario Sansupuri, who is, your classic European point guard, who is dangerous in a variety of different ways because they have such incredible vision of the floor and are excellent passers.
Who do you visualize when you think of classic European point guard?
Manu Ginobili. I don't.
Okay, not a point guard, but
Ginobili is not European.
He's also Argentine.
He's from Argentine.
When you said, I was like, Ricky Rubio?
Ricky Rubio,
Tony
sure.
Parker.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tony Parker would work.
Tony Parker.
He's the high end of the scale, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the ascent. When I think of foreign players, they're always big men or wings to me. I don't really think of point guards as much.
Really?
For whatever reason.
I guess they come in all shapes and sizes. I
They
suppose. Anyway, he announced in the beginning of July that he was just like, "See you later. I'm out of here." He is joining Valencia of the Euro League. They announced the signing of Mario Sansupuri on Saturday, which, I mean, Gonzaga is a top, 15 type of preseason team, and now they're basically without a point guard, or at least the what they thought was going to be their point guard. And everybody's trying to get to the bottom of why. I mean, obviously the college basketball ranks have had a variety of different, dips into the European waters over the last couple of years, trying to just plucking guys out. I'm sure it comes to their surprise. They could leave off to go play college basketball and get paid for it and things like that. This one sort of goes the other way. I was reading a story in The Athletic that basically was trying to explain it. There isn't a singular answer, but this move is coming less than 2 weeks after the NBA draft. It isn't a coincidence. Valencia lost their point guard to the NBA after he was selected 25th overall in June and needed to backfill that role in a major way. Considering Sansupuri, a native Spaniard who started in the country's ACB league before coming to Gonzaga, had already proven himself at that level, the move made a lot more sense for Valencia as an option. And then also there is the money piece of this as well, but no real established point guard for Gonzaga going into this year, which is very fascinating considering they have a little date with the Blue Jays coming up early on in the season.
Yeah, looking at the story that you had attached with this, they'll likely turn it over to 23-year-old Nathan D'Souza, who played in a professional league in France.
That's what I'm talking about.
So college basketball, weirdly in this intersection of sometimes you lose your players to European teams, and sometimes you take them from.
Isn't it crazy?
Teams.
Like you could just end up with a completely, to everyone's shock and surprise, they wake up on a Saturday morning in July, and you're like, oh, and it wasn't an injury. Injuries happen. Our starting
it wasn't even that he was unhappy. He just has a better offer to go somewhere else.
Our starting point guard literally just left. He just left. He just went away. Think about how pissed you'd be. I would be livid as a fan, as a coach, as a teammate. And what he just left. And we talked about it a little bit, I think, late last week. Like, kids are a little bit more likely these days to say, "Oh, like have a good time."
Well, I think they're desensitized to it. They're just used to teammates just leaving at all points.
Which is weird to me. I'd be
used to having different sets of teammates at all times.
I'd be like, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah. I wouldn't handle it well. I know that.
I'd be like, what in the absolute hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You're leaving in July? The season starts in 2 months. You can't do that.
I'm trying to think of what the Price Sanford comparable would be that would just have my like head in my hands, like, oh, this is great.
Seriously, what if he left to go play Euroball right now?
Not handle it well.
And you shouldn't. I wouldn't handle it well, and I don't even like Nebraska ball like that.
Thank you for including those two words. Like that.
I don't like them like that. You know, I like them.
that.
I don't like them. I like them like that.
No, that'd be wild. That'd be really wild.
I'd be
They're
pissed.
starting obviously in the Pac-12 this year, so it's going to be actually a little more difficult.
Maybe.
Conceivably. The West Coast Conference was not bad at the end of it, but
It'll be
maybe some
different.
more challenging games. I mean, San Diego State's better than what they were playing in the West Conference. Yeah, West Coast Conference for the most part. I mean, I would take San Diego State on balance over St. Mary's.
San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State, you got a lot better.
Utah
personnel
State's
teams.
good. Boise State's fine.
Yeah, it's like a combination of the Mountain West and the old Pac-12. Like, I don't know if it's like that much better than WCC though. It's fine.
It's better to the degree
Boise
of which
State better than Pepperdine.
I think so.
Mostly,
It's like a half a step better than the old WCC. Anyway, Joey, do you have any takes on the Bam Adebayo Tyler Hero fight before we get out of here?
Not really. I just thought it was hilarious, and I did not listen to it, but apparently Tyler Hero went on an interview like after that whole thing.
Oh,
happened.
he did a podcast?
No, he was interviewed at the Summer League. He was interviewed, I think, by ESPN, I believe. I'm not too sure.
So apparently this took place inside of a casino in front of an AAU team in Vegas where the Summer League is. And it was somebody said something on the internet and somebody got mad.
I think what I heard was Tyler said something about Bam's mid-range jump shot or something, and Bam did not like it. So he had some words to say to him when they met in Vegas.
This past weekend at Surly Brewing, they had like a bunch of people selling the Matt McMaster swap meet shirts.
Oh yeah,
and trying to get $40 for their stained. I saw a stained Nebraska back-to-back national championship shirt where they wanted $27 for. One of the things I saw was a Kentucky Tyler Hero jersey.
Nice. Tyler Hero's agent, Mike Lindemann, former Blue Jay basketball Michael Lindemann. We knew him as Michael, I guess, at the time, but he goes by Mike Lindemann because that's, I don't know, more advanced and adult or whatever. All right, Cags is going to win the home run derby tonight. That's my take, and that's my prediction on the home run derby.
I don't have a prediction.
I'll go Schwarber. I'll just go Schwarber.
Loser.
Safe.
Cags all day, all night long. That is it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover with Matt's coming up next.